TNA, but you gotta look at the TNA OG, as he calls himself, Frankie Kazarian.
For the first time in a decade and for the first time in general, we return to this concept where every match will be determined inside the confines of this steel cage. Welcome to Chi-Town, where we will certainly see a riot with weapons and championships and grudges coming ahead as TNA Wrestling brings to us Lockdown, and this the Simulable Studios live and watch along event schedule. So welcome everybody to our coverage tonight of TNA Lockdown. Hello everybody, and welcome back in here once again to the Super Reliable Studios. You know what this is, for I am the Simple Man, the Simple Brand, the voice of us. We're grateful for all this professional wrestling, damn it, and my name is Noel Foster. So thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Follow us today at SR Studios 2024. And if you want to dictate the conversation, super chat, pay that pass as simple as that. We are minutes away from taking the airways across TNA Plus exclusively. If you want to watch this event as well, there is a new $20 tier plan that will allow you to watch this pay-per-view and all upcoming TNA pay-per-view events. That's how I'm able to bring you this coverage tonight. Again, we do not pirate. We are your alternative blind conduit, giving you the coverage for tonight's event, taking place from Chicago. Our card, of course, is as follows. Kicking things off is, of course, the final Encore, as we will have AJ Francis going one-on-one with Alisha for the final time. The record stands 1-1. Ali will have to find a different partner tonight as Rosemary is out on injury, but the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships will be defended. If Leon Slater loses this chance at the TNA Search Championship, his history with the title will be erased. Austin Aries will still be considered the only man with the longest running TNA Exhibition Championship run. Amazing Red will be considered the youngest Exhibition Champion ever. And of course, Moose will be considered to have been beaten by not Leon Slater, but Cedric Alexander, as Leon Slater puts his very identity of history of TNA on the line. And this time, it is last man standing. Our main event will also have the Hardyz defending the TNA World Tag Team Championships against the Nemeth, where if the Nemeths win, not since Kurt Angle will we see somebody have both the TNA World Championship and the TNA World Tag Team Championship. Jason Hotch fallout with the Order 4 continues to hit a boiling point as it's absolutely personally defends the TNA National Champion against Mustafa Ali, who commands loyalty from the Order 4. For those that don't know, Special Agent Zero just lost against Trey Miguel via roll-up. Might be a bad night for the Order 4 after that sign of things to come. Despite the history that both these men have led for a generation of TNA wrestling, it's the face of the franchise versus the clown, a.k.a. the king of TNA, for the first time ever. Moose versus Frankie Kazarian, but this match is Escape the Cage, where the only way to win is to leave the confines of the structure. And of course, the stable of this event, Lethal Lockdown, the system of the advantage, will be taking on the future of TNA wrestling. Fabian Aichner, Navarro, Ricky Sosa, and Jada Stone. And the TNA Knockouts will attempt to be on the line. As Chicago's own Elayna Black will go after the gold against the Angel of the Ring, Zaya Brookside, looking to leave her in the dark and embarrass her tonight in front of her family and friends. That is everything that has ahead tonight from TNA Lockdowns. We are minutes away as Mackenzie Mitchell stands inside the ring surrounded by the steel cage. And again, our opening contest will be Elijah versus AJ Francis. So I hope that you all enjoyed tonight's coverage of TNA Lockdown and continue following us here along the Simply Reliable Studios. And right now, Mackenzie Mitchell giving us a bit of a rundown of legends made in Lockdown, etc., etc. Devin Banks, good to see you. And it looks like she's fired up on her own caffeine. I love the energy. I will give Gia Miller credit. All right, Gia, control yourself. Also, Indy Hartwell, Diarrhea Ray. I'm not sure how wise that was to insult the suit that type of way. I'm just saying. Anyway, so what match are you more folks looking forward to the most? What title changes do you anticipate? We got 5 championships on the line. Does the system fail or work? What is the biggest moment? Who leaves the biggest impact? What are you hoping to see defined inside the cage in any of these contests that are ahead? And how does this shape the future of TNA wrestling? Let your final thoughts, let your final predictions, let your final outlooks be known in the comments section as we keep you in tune with all the coverage tonight for TNA Lockdown. And we also know that AJ Styles' son, Avery Styles, will also be showing up at Lockdown tonight. Of course, AJ Styles, who defined literally TNA wrestling as the house he built, former TNA X Division champion, the very first TNA X Division champion, former TNA World Champion, member of Fortune. And again, you folks can watch this all along with me live right now, TNA Plus. Subscribe today to the $20 new tier plan, and it will allow you to watch the pay-per-views. As we see AJ Francis, who is looking once and for all to make sure Elijah goes bankrupt as these two men sell it in a rubber. And I completely agree. But again, name power, it's the Nemeth and the Hardyz, insert number here. It is what it is. Good to see you, Safet. Good to see you, Nathan Banks, a.k.a. Money Mac. Hey, here comes the money with someone that doesn't tear his quads. And again, I hope that you all enjoy our coverage tonight of TNA Lockdown. As Lockdown is back! Let's do this! Oh, man. This should be a fun night, though. I'm considering this show is going to be like 2.5 hours or 3 hours, like basically like you said. And, of course, also to your point. All right, here we go. And again, the most lame match of the night is kicking things off. Matt, good to see you. Charles Schultz, good to see you as well. As we get ready to transition. Oh. National Anthem, of course, kicking things off. So, folks, if you would. I guess they couldn't afford somebody to sing it, not even Gia Miller for that matter. But nonetheless. What? Oh, yeah, Brock Lesnar guy. I guess he stopped video streaming. Like you say, he's from the Chicago area. And shout out to my buddy Paul here, of course, wrestling trivia enthusiast. And you can, of course, follow the Greg Cherry brand and follow Greg Cherry for more on wrestling trivia. Tonight's official theme, by the way, for TNA Lockdown is brought to us by the Art of Finesse, Chris Bay. And shout out to Diadonis4033. Hello there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoy our coverage tonight of TNA Lockdown. Again, our opening contest will be starting here shortly after this cold opener. It will be Elijah versus AJ Francis. So whether or not you walk this way or you believe we're going to make that money, these two men, of course, their rivalry has spanned over the last month and a half and has reached an absolute boiling point as they sell it once and for all on what's being called the final encore. As of course, right now, TNA is bringing us a cold opener, bringing you all up to speed on why we are here tonight. Again, things absolutely personal with family, the fallout from one family with the protection, and of course, standing up for his family. Jason Hotch, a father and the new TNA national champion, defending the gold against Mustafa Ali. And Mustafa Ali, by the way, folks, is from Chicago. I can't recall a match that literally had someone's history in the books on the line to be erased. And I don't think they keep that history with pencil, but that very much the situation with Sid Alexander versus Leon Slater for the X Division title. Zaya Brookside saying that tonight, once again, Cora Jade, Elayna Black will fail, and this time her entire family will watch her come up short. entire family. I wonder what she means by that. But again, that's all just food for thought. We may not have the world champion on the line, but we got the tag team champions on the line, where if Nick Nemeth wins, he will do what has not been done since Kurt Angle in holding both the TNA World Championship and the TNA World Tag Team Championships. The Hardyz versus the Nemeths 4, I think. I've lost count. As, of course, they're in the Credit Union 1 Arena, as we got a skyline of Chicago, Illinois, as we prepare for TNA Lockdown. And shout out to the voices of TNA, Matthew Raywalt and Tom Hannigan. Capacity crowd on hand, close to near 5,000 plus people, I think, in that venue, which is great to see for TNA Wrestling. And again, for those that don't know, the entire card of this event will be defined inside the steel cage. So with that being said, let's kick things off. And again, for those that are just now tuning in, thank you so much. We are the Super Reliable Studios. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Follow us at SR Studios 24 on the X. And YouTube will be part of the conversation using hashtag TNA Lockdown. Let's bring some love and focus to TNA Wrestling Night and have a great time. Despite the fact AJ Francis should be banned from diving and should be also not be on this card tonight. But that's just me. That's just my thoughts. Of course, the last time we saw AJ Francis, aka Flop Dollar, go one-on-one with everyone's favorite drifter, and of course, Charles Salt's in the chat, the #1 roadie for one Elijah, who has set aspirations to become, of course, TNA World Champion. First time they faced each other, of course, was back on TNA television back in March. AJ Francis got the better of Elijah that night, and of course, it's an anniversary. Elijah regained control of his intellectual property, beating AJ Francis that night. Last time we saw these two share the ring, of course, AJ Francis was on the other end of a 4-person finishing spree in an 8-man tag team match, trying to take everything that Elijah has built for his own selfish gain, and thankfully has failed. I don't know how many times you all go and see the same concert of the same people in a different city, but hopefully the final encore is a tagline that truly defines the final time we see Elijah and a friend go one-on-one in TNA Wrestling. The Charles Schultz. Dang. Of course, Elijah now with a brand new smoking gun and that light-up guitar. The man with a song in his soul. What an entrance. King of the 6-string mythic cowboy prophet. I think I like Gia Miller's intro better for Elijah. I'm just saying. But Elijah has definitely become a man of the people. And also, it's not the first time we've seen Elijah involved inside a steel cage. Let's forget about that crazy sacrifice 10-man tag, where, of course, he teamed up with Team TNA against the System and the Clones. I can just see right now the hesitation, everyone's eyes just entering this structure. And of course, for those that don't know, this steel cage completely surrounds the ring. There is no outside ring area. It is literally taunted up against the ropes. Many of these people are entering this cage structure for the first time ever, including these two men. For those that don't know, Lockdown, of course, goes all the way back to TNA Wrestling 2005. It has been a decade since we've seen this very cage and this very event come back to life in TNA Wrestling. Over a ton of solid steel surrounding both these men, as it will surround everyone here tonight, including the referees. Bell rings were underway for this bench warming warm-up contest. I am so glad this match is first. Now, I imagine the only way to win is be a pinfall or submission. I don't think escape means anything. Plus, I do believe the door is locked shut. Oh, wait a minute. Oh! Needs to out again, coverage, and Francis, and gets a 2 count in the early going on Elijah. And of course, the crowd serenading Elijah right now. Meanwhile, Hashtag TNA Lockdown trending on the X while AJ Friends look for a down payment. And use the knee by Alisha, though, able to escape the grips of AJ for now. Now going off the ropes, just trying to take down this big former football player. Jesus champion, swinging a miss. Alisha off the ropes, swinging a miss again. And Alisha just throwing himself through AJ and taking down the big man. And again, shout out to those that are tuning in for the first time ever here at the Cinema Studios. Our coverage of TNA pay-per-view events. As we do this for all the biggest shows, PLA's favorites across all the biggest companies and other independent wrestling scenes, including not limited to GCW, HLG, and other smaller promotions across IWTV, including what we covered last night. Shout out to Walter and Nick for that. As Elijah walks this way across the top rope and goes old school on AJ Francis' left arm. Again, pinfall submission, the only way you win this matchup. Nice stunner. Down goes AJ Francis, covered. Bepris with the far leg. Kick out at 2 by AJ. Of course, we have seen, as much as I can't stand this guy, how far AJ Francis will carry himself in a TNA ring. Definitely has been a resurgence for both these men's careers since their previous identities. And AJ Francis looking to earn a dishonest dollar every way he can. Irish whip, reversal, gets the big boot up in the corner, and Elijah pushes off AJ. Now goes up to the second rope, lunges forward. AJ Francis, though, catching him out of midair with the crossbody, able to escape. And now AJ Francis, preventing collision with the steel cage. And, oh, man, sidesteps Elijah face first into the steel. And, of course, that's another thing to consider here. That cage can be used legally as a weapon. The first time we just saw it used there tonight in AJ Francis' favor. Again, for those that don't know, this goes all the way back to 2005. Shout out to all the TNA historians that know that as well. I remember this match one time was in my neck of the woods in Cincinnati. And right now, of course, this is the last stop. Oh, gosh, on the path as we, of course, head and are bound to glory. And that, of course, will be next month. And we will be covering that here, folks, at the Super Reliable Studios. Stay tuned for more on that. Of course, this solid ton of steel with no give towards the human skin. And again, right now, Elijah being worn down by AJ Francis across this steel cage. And Francis right now is just hammering his way with everyone's favorite drifter. And again, there's no disqualifications in this match. Oh, man! Big splash by AJ face first into the cage. And don't worry, I'm not going to say structure like Tom Hannigan did 250 times in a previous life in the WWE. So far, he hasn't said that much either. Something in the countdown. Okay, this is getting dangerous. AJ Francis, Elijah up on the top rope in the corner. I sense disaster. Face first already taking high risk in our opening matchup. I guess AJ Francis is sponsored by Dude Ripes too. What does that tell you? As Elijah looks to wipe away AJ Francis from its existence, hopefully after tonight. Sunset flip, and AJ Francis hanging around as Elijah is looking for the power bomb. AJ, though, losing the grip of one hand. Can Elijah rip him off? And, oh, man! Down goes AJ Francis hard! Cover two! No! And AJ Francis able to escape. Like a disco cover there by Elijah, just draping one arm over the prone body. Good grief, finally ripping down AJ Francis off that cage. But still not enough to put down the former Jesus champion. Also, of course, former football player, 6'5", 330-pounder. Now, Elijah might be looking to go back up into the high-risk district. The fact of the matter, though, that both these men are pretty much are tied to each other. They both need to get away from this feud. So regardless, I hope whatever happens here, we are done with these two men facing each other one-on-one. We haven't heard AJ Francis figure about any aspirations toward the TNA World Championship. But we know Elijah, oh, man, big forearm. AJ Francis flopping down from the top rope, hard in the middle of the ring. And Elijah... elbow drop from the top to his heart. Hook the near leg back. Francis kick out at 2. Somehow Francis is still in it. AJ Francis again, who crows so much about his own freaking greatness in this business, calls himself the best big man right now going. Calling himself more phenomenal than AJ Styles. And again, jury is out on that conversation, though he's tried to steal AJ Styles' move. But now Elijah, though, going up to the top of the cage. Again, escape means nothing. Elijah going all the way up to the top, and right now AJ Francis in pursuit. And it's about close to, what, 20 feet, I think, from the freaking center of the ring down to the floor. Oh, dear God. This is extremely dangerous. Elijah right now looking to walk this way across the top of the steel cage. He's literally taking a walk with AJ Francis across the top of that freaking thing. Oh, man. Francis throwing Elijah off balance as Elijah crashes face first on the steel truss at the top. Now AJ Francis right now climbing up and meeting Elijah in kind. This is extremely dangerous. It's the first match already. We got these people on top of this damn 20-foot high cage. And one person's literally one fall away from disaster. How about a stairway to heaven? How about a descent to hell? Elijah right now and AJ answering in kind. Overhead strikes. Elijah trying to get the better of the exchange. Overhead shots to the top of AJ's chrome dome. Just teeing off against the former linebacker. Oh, the big headbutt by AJ Francis. Bobbling like D'Lo Brown. And respect to, of course, the... Hey, you know what? Death Machine was a staple here in TNA Wrestling. Respect the classics. Oh, face first because AJ Francis now to the steel truss. Now AJ suspended across the top of the cage. And Elijah right now trying to bring the big 6'5" man back in. And right now he might be going for a hard right on the way. From the top of the cage, superplex. And both men laid out in the middle. Take a look. I'm surprised the ring didn't collapse. Damn. 10 feet from the freaking canvas as Elijah drapes the arm over in the cover. In the Encore kick out 2.5 AJ Francis. I don't know how the hell he kicked out of that. And this is just our first match of 8, folks. Keep that in mind. Now, if AJ Francis wants to go to the pay window and get that money, he needs to regain consciousness. Wait a minute. What the hell? What's this fake-ass Timu Slick guy doing back out here in a wheelchair? I thought Elijah brained him. Oh, you gotta be freaking kidding me. What the hell is this? Like an Uber transport, but this guy literally cartwheeling him in a wheelchair? About to say, Elijah needs to focus here. Sidestep. Oh, AJ Francis, face first in the cage, was looking for a spear. And Elijah, once again, looking to walk this way, going up to the top rope this time. I don't know if Elijah's walking too much, though, against AJ Francis. AJ got him up in the fireman's carry. And big Death Valley driver. Is that enough to cover? Deep hook of both legs. Kick on it, too, by Elijah. Woof. And Francis right now in disbelief. I almost wonder, does he even know that his freaking fake talent manager is at ringside who probably gets paid less than a freaking Uber worker? Like Francis wants the cage unlocked. Why the hell would AJ Francis want the cage door unlocked? I mean, again, this is not escape the cage. Escaping means nothing. But Francis, though, trying to be brought back in here. Well, I guess escape does matter here, according to what I'm hearing. But again, Francis right now, swinging a miss. Elijah hoisting up AJ Francis. Look at the strength of Elijah. Oh, man. Powering down the big man with an F5. Now the cover, hook of the far leg, side press, kick out at 2 by AJ Francis again. Shout out to the 23 of you that made your own impact in the TNA Predictions League. That's, of course, the poll that had 26% in favor of Flop Dollar, and the rest predominantly walking this way with Elijah. Good luck to everybody, by the way, involved in the Predictions League. As sponsored by City Predicting. Stay tuned for the next Predicting for AEW All In this Thursday, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time across the Sip Level Studios and Aaron Riff Nodikugawa's YouTube channel. Now Elijah looking to grab the door. Oh! And that freaking Timu manager smashed the cage door in Elijah's face. Spear by AJ Francis. Not like this. Deep hook on both legs. Kick out by Elijah. 2.5. Elijah's not going quietly into that good night yet. And now the net brace is gone. This guy right now having his own fake out Ric Flair flop attack on the outside. Freaking fake ass insurance policy fraud. Now AJ Francis, though, looking for a down payment. Got Elijah goozled. Is this it for the drift away, drift away? Elijah, though, grabbing the steel cage, making the ascent once again, creating separation from AJ Francis, turning around. And what the hell is this? Oh my gosh, a Canadian destroyer! Shout out to Petey Williams. How the hell? The counter to Elijah. Oh, what the hell? There's no disqualification as that cheap-ass imitation of a former great manager of the past just threw himself into the cover. That damn idiot should still be in the hospital bed. Now he needs to be in a straitjacket. Seriously, we saw this guy get his comeuppance after messing around with this freaking feud at Slammiversary. And about to say, Elijah right now looking to send this guy packing back to the hospital. He goes face first in the cage. Oh, jumping knee. And now Elijah focusing attention back on AJ Francis, perching him on the top turnbuckle. High as a Guri. Can he take the big man down? Elijah right now. What? Wait a minute. Now Elijah putting his attention back on that general manager. Hey, you want to be part of the match? We're going to make sure you're part of the match, you fake little insect. Oh, boy. You know, this seems like a typical day in Chicago, honestly. Oh! Elijah right now just focusing attention on this man. And it could be time to literally say farewell with the Highwayman's farewell. AJ Francis moves up to the top to across Elijah. Crunching also that chief general manager, now taking him up. Danger, down payment, choke slam, covered by AJ Francis. AJ Francis freaking wins the final encore. I guarantee you this performance was not sold out. The crowd freaking leaving in the rafters. If this was a concert hall, that was the worst final encore I've seen. Come on. Thanks to that freaking idiot's involvement, leaving a different expression that nobody wanted to see, AJ Francis goes up to the pay window tonight. Oh, wait a minute. That's a hometown man. Elijah's buddy with a guitar in hand. He's handing Elijah a guitar. You know what? You might as well get some sort of receipt, all right? This is going to be a final encore. Give an encore that people want to see. Regardless, AJ Francis wins this opening contest. Oh, wait a minute. AJ, you might want to turn around and not worry about your boy Expressions, who might as well be flatlined back to the hospital. I think we're about to get another smash hit. And Elijah up in position. Wham! The greatest guitar I've ever seen. Flop down or flops down. Bryan with that guitar from the top rope. Bravo, Elijah. This is the day the music died when the artist's name was AJ Francis, and I couldn't be happier. Bye, you bald idiot. Bam! What a smash hit. Okay, well, that freaking right now made my spirits up a little bit. Regardless, the winner of the match might have been Flop Dollar, but at least AJ Francis got his down payment at the hands of Elijah with that beautiful guitar shot. So at least somebody was able to profit from this match. Anyway, it is what it is, folks. Again, thank you all for tuning in. I am the Simple Man, the Simple Brand, the voice of SRS for a great performance professional wrestling, damn it. My name is Noah Foster. I know that Charles and many people have got to be upset regarding the outcomes of this match. But again, it goes to show the unpredictability that TNA wrestling has always kind of been more than anybody else when it comes to being the alternative of the wrestling business. And again, we're just getting started. So if this is a sign of things to come, we might be in for a very disturbing and shocking night. Still to come tonight, of course, Moose goes one-on-one with Frankie Kazarian for the first time ever in an actual escape the cage match. Only way to win is to literally escape the cage. And of course, the TNA Knockouts World title will be on the line as Elayna Black looks to send Xia Brookside back to her own dark side without the gold around her waist in front of her family in Chicago. Jason Hotch, Toledo defends the TNA Championship, and his family will be at ringside against a former family foe, Mustafa Ali of the Order 4. And of course, you're trying to raise history. Sid Alexander, Leon Slater, Extra Championship, and it will be last man standing. And what right now I see is, of course, letting their thoughts be known. And of course, the stable of this show that's always been returning for the first time since 2016, Lethal Lockdown, and the system has the advantage after Brian Meyers stole a win against Fabian Aichner. And believe it or not, that's not our main event. Our main event tonight is the Hardyz versus the Nemeth for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. But speaking of Tag Team Championships, does the Bunny Alley have an ally not named Rosemary? As it looks like the Bunny will be defending the TNA World Championships next against the Elegance brand in the contractually obligated rematch. And of course, the long-term tumultuous history of the Demon Assassin and the Bunny, yay Alley, it does lead me to believe that I don't know who Alley has. By the way, shout out to Alley wearing the Rebel Heart shirt as she is backstage with the lovely Jim Miller. One of my favorite wrestlers in this business. And of course, last time Alley went up against the Elegance brand, she got herself disqualified. Yeah, the current saying she hasn't heard from Rosemary. Use the Ouija board? That's bad luck. Have responsibility tonight. I wouldn't want you to hand over the title to the band either. That would make me leave this freaking walk. Oh, you did? Who? You're going to find out what the Elegance brand finds out. Well, it sounds like Alley, as cabinet as ever, has found a tag team partner. But I guess coming up next, we're all going to find out at the same time. Who's with the Bunny? Who's hopping along with that? Hopefully they bite the face until the Botox off the Elegance brand. TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship match up next here at Lockdown. Alley, I really hope you found somebody special. You're going to need it. As we set for this match, let me go ahead and give you some of the taglines here. Demon X Bunny won these titles back at Slammiversary. A rematch on Impact ended in a disqualification that led to this match tonight. Rosemary, of course, has been mysteriously absent, but also, as we recently learned, she also is on injury. And of course, the Elegance brand have held these titles pretty much since the new reception of TNA Wrestling, especially thanks to this piss poor imitation of a Paul Rubin, freaking Pee Wee Herman rolling at his grave, this personal concierge who still should be blinded, in my opinion, by that kabuki mist. And good to see you, Katie the Boxer. I'm extremely excited for the TNA X-Division Championship match, Jason Hotch versus Mustafa Ali for the TNA National Championship match, as well as Lethal Lockdown, because that's always been the staple of TNA Wrestling's Lockdown show. And I hope that you enjoy our alternative watch-along and coverage. Thank you so much for tuning in. And may TNA leave a lasting impact on you as it has my whole life, as we hope to do for everyone here through the Survivor Studios. Dwayne Atkinson right now leading his thoughts. He thinks it's Sue Young, of course, with Swan's life. You will be absolutely correct. And again, Rage Wrestling right now, of course, encouraging people to subscribe to Rage Wrestling today. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. And apparently, Katie the Boxer also hopes that Leon Slater wins. The Elegance brand makes me want to barf every time I see them on my screen. Perfect chance for this. This is the worst imitation of Chicago. You know, I know Chicago PD is corrupted, and I know they're not the greatest police force, but I feel like these two would be lost on the south side of town, if you know what I mean, for all the wrong reasons. I'm just saying. Well, we can also celebrate the fact that Mr. Elegance finally got his first loss recently on TNA Impact. Also, I want to add, by the way, the Elegance brand, of course, M by Elegance. She is in, I believe, the finals for the inaugural TNA Knockouts Television Championship. Maggie Lee, of course, very well known out of the Chicago area. And, of course, Heather Reckless, she was able to defeat Allie during the tournament and bounce her out of it, while Maggie Lee was able to bounce out Rosemary thanks to that freaking concierge interference with that cheap champagne. All right, Bunny, let's find out who you brought in tonight to hopefully kill the Elegance brand. I wouldn't mind murder in Chicago here tonight. Seriously, that's nothing new for this city. Give me that Bunny for life! As the Bunny hops her way to the ring with both titles across her shoulders, looking to bite off the face of anybody that imposes her, and I love her for that. And you can, of course, follow Allie and Sienna on their adventures as the Chainsaw Girls for a horror podcast. Oh, wait a minute. The screen went black. Who is it? Let's find out who it is. What? Huh? A purple flame. Purple. Kiera Hogan! The firecracker! The spark is back! The flame! Kiera Hogan! Shout out to Fire and Flavor! Kiera Hogan's back in TNA Wrestling! Back in 2019, Kiera Hogan was invaluable in trying to find the Bunny soul again alongside Rosemary. A very long-term history with these two, but they never worked together as tag team partners. The Flame, Kiera Hogan, is back. And you all could actually go watch one of our interviews with Kiera Hogan in the archives here at the Simply Reliable Studios. This is very interesting. Of course, Kiera Hogan also is a former multiple-time TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champion. I'm about to say, Kiera Hogan was also there when Ali died in the Undead Realm at the hands of Su Yung. Well, this is wild. Kiera Hogan's back in TNA Wrestling, teaming with the Bunny. Jessica Pina's coming, I think, for the last, 5 years. This is going to be very interesting. Of course, the Bunny, Allie, and Kiera Hogan, they used to be tag team partners against Su Yung and the Undead Bride, back in 2018 before Allie lost her soul. Of course, the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions is on the line. And as I said before, Kiera Hogan, no stranger to these titles, formerly part of Fire and Flavor alongside Tasha Steelz as a former 2-time TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champion. And right now, Maggie Lee, Heather Reckless, a bit thrown off here as we get ready for this tag team contest. Welcome back, Kiera Hogan. I'm very happy for this. Again, shout out to the Bunny, sporting the, of course, Rebel Heart shirt. And stay tuned, folks. We cover that special edition of AEW Dynamite here in support of Rebel. And, of course, her continued causes to find a cure for better research through that debilitating disease. We love you, Rebel. And right now, the Bunny squaring up against Maggie Lee. Powers whip, reversal. Maggie Lee's very statuesque and say, "Look, fast press, rip off her damn face, Allie!" I'm sorry if I'm going to be a little bit biased, but I'm not going to be sorry. And yes, JJ, you absolutely called it. Way to go, bro. Bomb today at Cosby Studios. Rising knee strike. And right now, the cover, Hogan the near leg gets a 1 count. And Kiera Hogan, for those that don't know, by the way, is a 11-year veteran of this game, was previously involved in TNA wrestling alongside, of course, Tasha Steelz, Fire and Flavor, former multiple-time TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champion, was also involved previously in Ring of Honor, has made her ways around the independent scene. This is their first match, by the way, since 2025 of April. Like the shot, super kick. And right now, Kiera Hogan looking for the neck breaker on Heather Reckless. Of course, Heather Reckless cover 2, count only. Interesting, though, we don't see any sign here, though, of course, of Ash by Elegance here. And tag made now, the Bunny and Kiera isolating Heather in their corner. Keeping pressure on the shoulders. Reversal Iris whipped by both arms. Keeping her in the champion's corner. Kiera on the move with the clothesline. And right now, the Bunny's pressing forward with the sliding form and that ridiculous sadistic smile, and I love it. Now Kiera Hogan looking to go around the world with the sliding kick, and that's on period. Now LD dragging her towards center, and the cover to retain gets a 2 count. Heather, damn it. As Mr. Elegance right now distracting the referee, trying to climb his way inside the steel cage. Get the fire. Oh, what the hell? What is that? Is that a baton? That's one of them nightsticks. I don't know if that was real or fake, though, but freaking Heather just caught down in the back. That damn no good blonde fake it. And right now, Heather just teeing up against Ali. I am not going to show any decorum here. Hooking the near leg, kick out. Kick out at 2 by the Bunny. Did I mention how much I fucking hate the Elegance brand? And of course, right, I said there are no rules here, of course, because every match is inside a steel cage. So technically speaking, anything goes. Now Ali squaring up against Heather. Kick to the midsection, drops her a knee. Tag made by Maggie. Or M by Elegance, excuse me. Here comes M by Elegance. And of course, I will say one thing about the Elegance brand. They have been a continuously dominant, well-cohesive unit here in TNA wrestling. There's a reason why they've had predominantly control over those TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. Snapmare right now, and drop kick, and Maggie, M by Elegance has a chance to become the cover hook of both legs. Kick out, Ali! Kick out at 2. M by Elegance has a chance, of course, to become the inaugural TNA Knockouts World Television Champion against Jada Stone, as the finals will take place on TNA TV. Demon X Bunny right now, the 29th TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, might I add. Elegance brand has held these titles now 2 times. The last run went for 164 days. And so far, I've held these titles for a combined cover by M by Elegance, 360 plus days. Nice suplex in the cover there by M. I will say, when it comes to Maggie Lee, I'm very happy to see what she's been able to do in TNA wrestling. Of course, a standout star of the Chicago area. Her and Heather, by the way, have had their own fair share of matches, of course, which goes to that familiarity and how well they work together. And right now, oh man, what a big boot. For those that don't know, Maggie Lee is 5'11". Yes, she is tall. Cover, back press with the far leg, 2 count on Ali. Only 4 years involved, by the way, in this business, while the Bunny's been involved in this game since Smash Wrestling and Ring of Honor and Japan and AEW and TNA for the better part of over 16 years. Tag made out of Heather. And it's so good to see Ali back where she belongs, what she loves in professional wrestling. Taking a mental and physical break for the better part of almost 2 years. Right now, Heather with the snapmare, headlock applied in the center of the ring, trying to wear down the Bunny. As again, right now, the Elegance brand trying to overcome the element of surprise. Now that Kiera Hogan is back. Again, for those that don't know and are just now tuning in, Ali's tag team partner is the Flame, Kiera Hogan, a former 2-time TNA Knockout World Tag Team Champion. Jawbreaker looking for the tag, and again, Heather picking the ankle, though, preventing Ali from going for the tag push-off. Tag made by M. Tag made to Kiera! Here we go now. Now Finn might pick up. And now Hogan getting the better of both members of the Elegance brand. Drop kick to Heather in the corner. And by Elegance, by the one, is still legal. Now Kiera squaring up. Oh, man, what a hip attack. And by Elegance, sidestep, drop toe hold by Kiera Hogan. And Kiera right now getting the better of the Elegance brand, driving her hips into the back of the head of Maggie. And bouncing her off the second rope throat first. Kiera has turned this match completely around. Step up. Oh, leg drop across the back of the head and neck. Choose to have cover. Back press with the far leg. And Heather with the save. Able to keep this match alive for the Elegance brand. Ali, though. Call breaker. Knee to the face. And by Elegance, though, hoisting up Ali. Up in the air. Oh, man. Down goes Ali. Michinoku driver. That eliminates one member of each side, but the 2 legal women with the hair whip taken down and sending all 4 women down. Very happy to see Kiera Hogan back in here. Wasted potential in the previous life of TNA Wrestling. Now Mr. Elegance with sense of panic. What is this schmuck doing now? Handcuffs? What the hell are you doing with handcuffs? The referee right now warning the Elegance brand, you get involved under that fashion, we will not let you win these championships. Now, wait a minute. Where is Heather going? What the world is Heather doing? Now Heather, what the hell? Just literally escaped the cage from inside one of those squares. That tiny little petite body just literally doing a hole-in-the-wall trick and seizing the handcuffs on the outside. You freaking kidding me? I mean, I can't believe her. Yes, Ali, rip her by her hair. Ali grabbing a hold of Heather. Oh, driven face first in the steel cage, though. And Mr. Elegance giving Heather a bit of help right now. And the Heather's trying to arrest Ali. Referee, turn around. Stop her. And Heather right now is trying to handcuff Ali to the steel cage to turn this into a handicap. Ali is literally handcuffed to the steel cage. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Meanwhile, Ali's capacity, Kiera Hogan trying to get better with Ember Elegance, though. Suplex applied. I don't think Kiera's aware of what just happened here. And right now, Ember Elegance, weight slap, back elbow strike. Kiera trying to fight back against M, unaware that Ali has been handcuffed to the steel cage. And wait a minute. Ali just broke out of the handcuffs. Kiera Hogan swinging neck breaker, fisherman variation, bridge cutter, and yes! Demon X Blade returns! Fuck the Elegance brand! Yes! Your freaking plan failed, you tiny blonde idiots! And that's on Pyramid with the fisherman swinging neckbreaker, Kiera Hogan pinning M by Elegance, and Ali refusing to be shackled by the shenanigan. Ali and Kiera Hogan retain the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships, and welcome back to the Flame. Oh, finally, something good tonight actually happened. And what a return for Kiera Hogan, by the way. Welcome back to TNA Wrestling. And you see TNA President Carlos Silva right now presenting Ali and Kiera Hogan the prestigious red straps as we avoid a fashion catastrophe with this Botox-infused, fake-ass, beautiful people conspiracy. Well, what a hell of a return, though. What a great moment here at Lockdown. Again, still so much more to come as we, of course, don't know what other surprises. But again, I want to remind you, if you're watching this show, there's a QR code. Again, a great friend of the wrestling business to so many. As Kevin Owens said, there are some things bigger than wrestling. Support Rebel Tania today, incur costs, championing for a cure for ALS. And you can learn more about ALS at imals.org. And you can support Rebel today at imals.org/rebel. Purchase the shirt today. Purchase a band. Show your love and support for Rebel Tania, championing this fight against this terminal disease. And again, let's do what we can to be better and find a cure so others do not suffer the same fate. We're with you, Rebel, and we love you. Anyways, action continues here, and history to unfold for the first time ever. It's two faces of a generation. The face of the franchise takes on the clown of TNA today as Moose goes one-on-one with Frankie Kazarian. And again, this match will be Escape the Cage. And right now, the bionic baddie, Kiera Hogan, very well put, JJ. Very happy for her. And again, anytime the Elegance brand loses, it's a pleasant day for me. One more time, because I can't say it. Fuck the Elegance brand for life. But Maggie Lee, good luck in your pursuit of the TNA Knockouts Television Championship. All right. Now, let's go ahead and move on from there. There's a certain level of unscripted passion that comes out of me, folks, at certain times. Sorry, not sorry, but that's the authenticity you get here at the Super Reliable Studios, in and out of commentary. Whether I Joey Styles it, Mike Tenay, or I have somebody else as part of my fun while I do play-by-play. That being said, let me bring up to speed on this match. Of course, Moose right now has been the guy dedicated for the last decade to TNA wrestling straight. Why Frankie Kazarian is the last of the OGs. He is the original breed. He once was deemed the future, but might as well be the past. For the first time ever in the present, the clown of TNA wrestling, calling himself a king without a crown, takes on the man that has spearheaded this brand for the better part of 10 years. Kazarian and Moose go one-on-one. As, of course, we've seen Kazarian try to hook and crook his way every way he can to avoid this match and avoid Moose, including in that 8-man tag preview this past Thursday night on TNA Wrestling. As the face of the franchise looks to give a king a different crown tonight without the use of a scarf. Kazarian and Moose one-on-one. And the only way that you win is to escape not only your opponent, but the cage. This is going to be very interesting. This is one of those matches I have suspension of disbelief on what I think exactly is going to happen. Ooh. We've got a violin here that might be playing a bittersweet symphony for one clown of TNA wrestling.
It's Moose's special entrance.
Yeah, I believe you're right. This is Moose's special entrance. Well, again, it's a big fight field for the man that has been the face of this company. A man that traded away a background in football and fully committed himself to professional wrestling in TNA. The true wrestling god, not a foregone god that called himself that and wasn't that. Sitting on his throne as a king should. Who's, of course, a former X Division champion, a former 3-time TNA World Champion, previously a TNA Grand Slam champion in a bygone life of the six-sided ring, leader, pioneer of the system's greatest asset before Eddie Edwards tossed him aside, and Moose has gone single-handedly through every member of the system to be the guy that is the conversation that you go after. And shout out to Atlas, by the way. You can learn more about them on Spotify and Apple Music, who serenade with this beautiful violin symphony, Moose to the Ring. Love this.
It's official Kiera Hogan inside the team.
And according to sources, according to my friend off screen, TNA Wrestling has officially signed Kiera Hogan back to the brand. Congratulations and welcome back to the Knockouts division. That being said, let's no longer think about the Knockouts for the TNA Knockouts World Championship, bro. Of course, as I said, Moose, of course, has pretty much upset Kazarian, including giving his own King speech that was far more entertaining, as everybody believes that Moose is the guy to kick Kazarian's ass tonight, and he can take as long as he wants. Here we go. I don't got to worry about that freaking jabroni right now. Freaking Matthew Way waltzing, loving and talking about Frank Kazarian either. Yeah, Kazarian right now trying to sit on that throne. I want one of those violinists to tip him over. I think that would just be hilarious. Do it! Damn it. Frank Kazarian disrespecting Moose. He's disrespected everybody here in TNA Wrestling that hasn't been at the expense of his own name, where they talk about how he's the king of TNA. But again, what's a king without a crown? I'll tell you what's easier to be, a clown. And that's all Kazarian's been for the better part of the last month, trying to literally etch his ego against Moose, who just overcame a very personal battle against Eddie Edwards at Summerversary and putting the past behind him and the system to the wayside. And of course, I will say this, Kazarian, as I said, a 6-time X Division champion, a former TNA World Champion, the last of the OGs. When you figure about the class he grew up with, like Christopher Daniels, like AJ Styles, like Samoa Joe, like Sting. And of course, came back, of course, in TNA when it was brought back to life, betrayed Eric Young, and went into business for himself. Seems like every day he wears nothing but a grimace and a proverbial chip on his shoulder just to prove to himself, I think, more than others, how great he actually is. Of course, a student of Killer Kowalski. The bell rings around the way to meet Kazarian looking for an escape, trying to go up, the first man to try and go up the top of the cage. Again, you escape either over the top or you ask for the door to be open and both feet hit on the floor. And Moose right now is not even letting Kazarian get a chance to breathe. Of course, Kazarian is a manipulator, though. And this does feel like it could be in Kazarian's alley. Kazarian has been involved previously in 2 cage matches. I will give him that. And right now, hoisted up high above Moose's shoulders, able to escape the powerbomb situation. Now Kazarian asking for the door to be open. The door's open, and Moose immediately seizing Kazarian and trying to bring him back inside the ring. Oh! Yeah, about to say, you literally witnessed his last cage match. And, well, not his last cage, but you were there in 2008. Shout out to my fellow TNA faithful brother, Paul, here off camera. And right now, Kazarian driven throat first inside the cage, being tossed pillar to pillar, post to post, and I love it. Do it all night, Moose! Am I going to be a little bit biased on this match? The answer is yes. And right now, face first goes Kazarian again. Moose launching Kazarian like a shot put, and right now, easily looking for the escape. No, he's not. I don't think Moose is done punishing Kazarian, and I don't think Chicago is done seeing Kazarian be punished as Moose commands the referee to relock the cage door. Hubris could be a man's downfall, though, and I feel like Kazarian's hubris has been his downfall for most of his career when it matters the most. And right now, Moose mounting Kazarian in the corner, just teeing off against the former TNA X Division champion, former Bad Influence, if you remember that from a bygone life. Big overhead shot. Now, Moose right now fully in control of Frankie Kazarian. Looking to follow in. Oh, man! Shoulder first in the top turnbuckle as Kazarian was able to sidestep him. And of course, Moose first was the one to make this challenge against Kazarian. But the fact that Kazarian's been ducking and dodging him brought us to this stipulation. Oh, big pump kick, dropping him in the knee. And now Moose bringing up to the top rope. And high cross body! And a kip up from this 5-tool athlete. Moose is definitely a different type of cat, if you catch my drift. Built differently. Of course, the longer this match goes on, I do wonder, does it favor Kazarian or does it favor Moose? Now, Moose once again, Sky Kazarian. Spear! And he got him flush. Cut that damn clown in half. Do it again. Again, there's no pinfall. There is no submission. There is nothing but punishment and strategy. The only way to win is to escape the cage. And right now, Kazarian might be looking just to find a way to breathe again as Moose once again squares him up in another corner. Locked and loaded. Spear! All right, Moose. Let's not play with your food, all right? I think that should be enough. Let's go ahead and finish this thing. And now Moose is calling for the door to be open here and looking for an easy... Oh, Kazarian, though. Look at this freaking defiance by Kazarian with the double bird. Bear Spear is apparently not enough punishment for this guy that just can't stay down when you should. And Moose on the run in and popped up. Oh, my word! Hoisted up high on the back of his head and shoulders into the cage. And right now, Frankie Kazarian playing his own freaking form of mind games here, sliding drop kick, getting the advantage of Moose after that little distraction of an emotional interference. Preying on Moose's psyche, now just drumming the boot in Moose's throat here in the corner. That's also just one of those things that Moose even says, not like a championship needs to come to me. I'm the guy that people need to come to. And I think Moose makes a valid point. Moose has been one of the most consecutive players in TNA since TNA was literally brought back to life. He has put this company on his show. At one point, it was like, no Scott D'Amore, no Moose. But Moose, despite the fact he's been offered a contract from every possible company you can think of, he stayed home and committed to TNA. Oh, man! Sidestep face first into the steel cage door by Kazarian. Again, Moose right now literally is playing Kazarian's game. Now Kazarian wants to have his way with Moose, just putting the boots to the back of the head on the face of the franchise as Moose lays prone down the middle of the ring. And of course, for Kazarian, like really, what is he gaining right here besides just more goading and gloating? It's like every time Kazarian opens his mouth, someone just needs to put their damn boot in it. Pass the crowd again on hand here, along with wow, all 148 of you, thank you so much for tuning in. This is TNA Lockdown, where every match takes place inside a steel cage that surrounds the ring. And I do mean surround. There is no outer ring area. And again, Moose just tossed again hard into the turnbuckles. And of course, Kazarian already coming in here. A little bit more PO than usual. The fact that Moose brought a better edition of the King's Speech than Kazarian has since the inception of that so-called talk show, where the crowd spoke on behalf of their true king as far as who they believe is the face of the franchise and is going to win this match. And Kazarian right now having his way with Moose. And again, like I said, no discrediting the work that Kazarian has laid down here for TNA Wrestling. I mean, again, it speaks marriage when you have been a multiple-time X Division champion and you still go as hard as you can, including against the likes of Mike Santana in a freaking Texas death match. Irish whip up and over, whoop, and Moose lands on his feet. Of course, Moose has also been involved in Monsters Ball. Double underhook. Wait a minute. Oh, Angel's Wings! Shout out to Christopher Daniels, another all-time TNA great in OG. And I did talk about Bad Influence earlier. Freaking running mate. Center of the ring on that TNA logo. Moose left leg. Yeah, Moose right now just trying to get back up. And again, I don't think it's smart here for Kazarian trying to instigate Moose. Again, this is what I was talking about prior before the fall. And right now, Kazarian just trying to get in the head of Moose again. And again, right now, the crowd pumping up Moose. And I think Moose right now is feeling something that Kazarian might want to be aware. Big right hand. No effect, though. Another big right, and Moose again. Channeling the people, channeling Moose Nation. Whoa! Is that all you fucking got? Blocks the arm. Oh, big headbutt with a big FU. To the spot of skull of Moose, and Moose on the run with the uppercut. And once this Moose gets tracking, there's no stopping. Driving forward for Kazarian with these running uppercuts. Got it hooked, and a massive choke slam. Full of senton. And a chip up. Whoa. And Moose once again fired up by the TNA faithful. And Moose has completely turned this match around in his favor. And now Moose might be looking for escape via climbing the cage. Kazarian, though, taking the base out of Moose as he's suspended across the second rope against the cage. Ah, backstabber. Vicious backstabber. Moose somehow still caught up in the cage, though. Now Kazarian up the second. Springboard! Guillotine leg drop. Turning his body in mid-air, and Moose again still suspended. Finally, he is able to remove his boots from inside the cage. And left prone. And now Kazarian, once again, though, this would be a great moment, I would think, for Kazarian to try and escape the cage. As he wants to continue to dissect Moose and send a message to anybody that still wants to put some at the expense of his name. Look for the crossface chicken wing. Moose able to take him off, though. And now Hotch might be looking for Fade to Black. Moose able to escape. Sunset flip again. Pinfalls do not matter here. And Moose right now realizing that, looking to hook up Kazarian, hoisting up Kazarian, deadlift, looking for the powerbomb. Kazarian still fighting back, though. And Moose got Kazarian up. Kazarian, though, looking to break the eyes again. Big right hand. Big forearm shiver, though, answered in kind by Moose. And both these men exchanging in the ring. In the name of TNA, who truly owns the namesake? The then or the now to guide the future? Who once was called the future, now facing the present? Got down to one knee after that big haymaker. Big overhead shot. And Moose again. Oh, type-edge shot. Wearing down Kazarian. Open-handed shots right now. Big FU. Oh, man, what an elbow. Elbow. And Kazarian, runs into the big boot. Pump kick style by Moose. Now Moose once again on the move. Whoa, man, clothesline, and Moose doesn't go down. Unable to take him off his feet. Kazarian rebound off the ropes. Once again tries to take Moose down and still cannot take the big man off his feet. Up the ropes again and hooked around. All right. Oh! Into a spinning net breaker. Smart move by Kazarian, taking Moose down for the time being. Last time Kazarian was involved in a cage match, ironically enough, was Lethal Lockdown in 2011, and then a steel cage in Lockdown 2014. Now Moose hoisting up Kazarian and driving him into the steel cage. And Moose right now looking to charge for one shot and wiped out with a lariat. Inside out, upside down goes Moose at the forearm of Frankie Kazarian, and both men down. What a scene right now here at Lockdown for the return of this unique event where, again, every match is defined inside a steel cage. What a bomb, though, by Moose into the solid 1-ton steel. TNA champion out loud and proud. It shows like this that remind me exactly this is what TNA is all about. Again, the only way to win is to escape the cage, and both feet must hit the floor, either through the door or over the top. Now, both men on the ascent off the side of the cage, and Kazarian and Moose right now towards the top here. Frankie Kazarian right now with the upper advantage at a higher elevation versus Moose, trying to rip Moose off the cage. And a rake of the odds, Kazarian's looking to do everything he can to force his way out. And again, Moose is still him and Kazarian inside this match, bringing him back inside over the top. Oh boy, this is not going to end well. But both men high above the middle of the ring, damn near close to 15 feet. As Moose right now has Fabian Kazarian Clinton. Oh dear God. You gotta be fucking joking! Spanish fly off the cage! Holy freaking hell! Whoa! I agree with that fan. Damn near 400 plus pounds crashing into the canvas. Take a look if you're watching along with me here. Absolutely amazing. 15 damn near feet above the ring, and both men come down crashing. I'm not even sure who got the worst of that. Crowd chanting, this is awesome, and I agree. And there's my friend Paul doing the typical clap, 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 clap. Y'all can do that in the chat if you want. Now, either man right now is at the chance to take the advantage as they both crawl towards the door, and Moose asking for the door to be open. Referee Dan Spencer has now opened the door. Moose right now a bit closer than Kazarian with one leg over the rope and just literally mere inches away from escape as Kazarian seizes the inside ankle of Moose, preventing him from trying to get out of the cage. It's again, if both feet at the floor, Moose wins. Again, hit the cage, land on the floor of both feet, you win the match. Simple as that. And Kazarian doing everything he can to prevent Moose from escaping, grabbing Moose's body as Moose continues to try and wear away. Oh, the front of the eye by Kaz. Now Kaz on the run. Slingshot into the cutter! Brings Moose back in the hard way. What a slingshot cutter. Kazarian, though, taking a high risk there because if he didn't hook Moose, Moose could have fell out of the cage and won the match inadvertently. How many times in the history of TNA wrestling in these steel cage matches have we seen an inadvertent win for the opponent at the expense of the other doing a big move or just trying to get more revenge or punishment? Bobby Roode and James Storm, a very prime example. And now Kazarian bracing himself up against the door, and I might be freaking, I don't know who the philosopher is that foresees the future, but you might want to call me that as I see Kazarian braced up against the ropes with the door open. All he's got to do is so they fall backwards, and Kazarian could win here. Now Moose, though, grabbing the leg of Kazarian, trying to fight and make sure that he stays inside here. Big right hand, another big right hand by Moose, but Moose has to be aware that Kazarian is pushed up against that door and it's open. Now Cranes is the big right hand, and Moose on the run. Spear! Oh, no! Kazarian inadvertently falls out, and Kazarian wins! And I fucking literally called it! Moose's own rage, blind rage, and momentum drives Kazarian with a full force spear out of the cage to the floor. Kazarian escapes broken but victorious. And in doing so, once again sends a message against TNA Wrestling's Golden Boy. Again, look at that spear driving Kazarian hard down to the floor, but Kazarian still escaped the cage. Kazarian wins. Oh, man, that has got to be devastating for Moose. As Moose loses against Kazarian at lockdown. The strategy of the king, self-proclaimed king of TNA wrestling, pays off in the end at his own freaking body's expense. As Fabian Kazarian right now tries to gather his bearings, can't even get up on his own two damn feet. As for the first time ever, the record stands 1-0 against the franchise of TNA Wrestling. As we change now direction on the TNA lockdown dynamic, we look towards now the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Chicago's own Elayna Black, family in attendance, will look to seize the TNA Knockouts World Championship against Zaya Brookside. Of course, this match stems off the fact that Zaya Brookside, much like what Cora Jade did in a previous life, went into business for herself, betrayed her friend, and seized the TNA Knockouts World Championship back at Slammiversary against Lei Ling Lee. Not to mention, left her in the dark in a vicious no disqualification match. Ever since Xia Brookside seized the TNA Knockouts World Championship, she has become the knockout and the conversation and has made damn sure that everyone is aware of it. While Elayna Black has called herself the best TNA knockout of all time, she and Wendy Choo went to a 10-minute draw in the TNA Knockouts television tournament, which meant both women were eliminated, and Xia Brookside put in our statement against both their names. Follow up with that, and Wendy Choo, of course, challenged Xia Brookside for the TNA Knockouts World Championship and lost. As Xia said, she will be damned if anyone will take this off her, as she will do anything to hold on to it. With shenanigans aside, trying to screw up Xia Brookside's makeup and get inside the champion's head, much like in a bygone life where Cora Jade faced Xia Brookside, the roles are reversed as Xia is now the knockout to beat. But will Daria Ray's first business choice to add to the knockouts finally pay off? Again, the tail of the tape, Elayna Black with the height advantage, 5'6", 5'3". Elayna Black with the blackout, Xia Brookside with the dark side DDT. And of course, Elayna Black is a former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, her only accolade in her career. While, of course, Xia Brookside is the reigning defending TNA Knockouts World Champion, and this will mark her third defense. Let's see if you ride on the dark side, or does Elayna Black rise tonight in Chi-Town? Elayna Black very vocal about how she will become the TNA Knockouts World Champion, while Xia Brookside said, once again, you will choke and you will be embarrassed in front of your family tonight. Of course, for those that don't know, Elayna Black has now been involved in TNA Wrestling, officially signed as a knockout since January. And yes, you are hearing a babyface reaction for Elayna Black, who's been nothing but a heel for the better part of her TNA career. But we are in Elayna Black's hometown. She is from Chicago. About 30 people plus from her family coming into the show tonight just to support her and see if she actually wins the TNA Knockouts World Championship. It very well could be her night, as she takes the biggest chance in her young career against a very formidable opponent. Where in a bygone life, like I said, I see a lot of Xia Brookside in Elayna Black, the former Cora Jade. Of course, Elayna Black took a mental break from the wrestling business and found her way back to wrestling through TNA. As we await the Dark Angel of the Ring to take center stage, our TNA Knockouts World Champion, Xia Brookside. Xia Brookside, of course, has been trying to step out of the shadows of course, her father, as well as those that she deemed was only there to put her underneath her, such as Leiling Lee. And sometimes in this business, you gotta be selfish, though. If you're gonna get ahead, you gotta sometimes realize you can't get ahead with friends. And Xia Brookside finally accomplished that 57 days ago. And of course, Elayna Black, though, to her advantage, she's gotten inside the champion's head, as I said, on numerous occasions through verbal assaults. Bit of a nasty makeover, though, that she gave her, too, by the way. But, of course, that inadvertently caused Indy Hartwell the TNA Knockouts television tournament. As we heard on the countdown, regardless who wins here, Indy Hartwell has already called herself the next to challenge. And, of course, Elayna Black, she basically secured a TNA Knockouts title shot here with a recent victory over Xia Brookside in multi-person action. We've already seen how much damage and how much of a difference this steel cage can actually make. In the Knockouts Champions Challenge, by the way, it was Elayna Black, Mara Sade, and Xia Brookside that did win together as a team despite their differences. And that's what kind of led to this match tonight, in case you're wondering. However, like I said, in a bygone life, Cora Jade did previously beat Xia Brookside, but both were very young and very immature versus right now. And we'll see how much the home field gives right now to Chicago's own. As we, of course, see the cornerstone of women's wrestling, in my opinion, since 2008, the TNA Knockouts World Championship on the line. Xia Brookside, the 72nd TNA Knockouts World Champion, following the likes of, again, Leiling Lee, Maja Slamovich, Jessie Jane, Mickie James, Jordan Grace, going all the way back to Gail Kim and Awesome Khan, the likes of Madison Rayne, Tara, ODB, and Angelina Love, just name a few, Brooke Tessmarker, and even Rosemary. And clearly right now, the crowd getting underneath Brookside's skin. Elayna Black just soaking up the homecoming here. It's also one of those things that I do think the audience could be both a distraction and an encouragement, especially for the challenger. At the end of the day, champion's advantage here. Title control just has to be a pinfall or submission. Yeah, Zaya right now mocking Chicago. Again, I'm not sure how wise this is. What does that Chicago know exactly how she feels? And even though she's from the UK, stiff continental tie-up here in the early going right now with these two young athletes. Again, not much different when it comes to the tail of the tape or the aggressive nature. Although Zaya Brookside, I think, only just started deeming this dark side. I haven't seen this side of her since NXT UK. Elayna Black, she's kind of always been a bit of a gothic forward bitch if you've seen her independent work like I have. Elayna Black's been involved in this wrestling business now, of course, for 7 years. Zaya Brookside, Elayna Black, of course, getting the better of Zaya, drumming her down face first. Zaya Brookside does outweigh her on experience. Totally born in this business, by the way, too. Been involved in this for 11 years. Ooh. Brookside throwing a bit of a slander against Elayna Black. Oh, man, it slapped the taste out of the champion's mouth. The title can only change hands again, be a pinfall or submission. And escape the cage, as I also want to point out, the only other unique stipulation involved tonight in our matches. Driving forward with the drop kick, and Zaya Brookside right now trying to maybe escape the cage early or checking the cage door. As Zaya Brookside again is trapped inside with Elayna Black. I wonder who's more trapped with who. Big forearm smash there, and of course Elayna Black's no stranger to cage matches. Was involved previously in War Games in the bygone life, lest you forget. Big forearm shiver, Irish whip, and big elbow smash by the challenger. Once again, keeping control of the champion and keeping her inside with her with this wrist exchange. Wrist reversal by Zaya. Take over to Harris to Zaya Brookside by Elayna Black, who has been all in control since the get-go so far. There's been everything for Elayna Black so far. We've seen magic happen in Chicago before with the likes of AJ Lee and CM Punk, the adopted parents for one Elayna Black. Razor knee strike. Earlier this year, of course, CM Punk was able to retain the World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor. AJ Lee, of course, returned in this very city last year to professional wrestling. Face first goes Elayna Black in the steel cage, getting crowned. And I'm about to say, the fact of the matter is, you go for a high-risk move up against the ropes, all it takes is a sidestep, and you're the one that goes crashing into the cage. And Zaya taking full advantage of that right now, blindly attacking Elayna Black with the drop kick to the back, as Elayna Black out of all sorts right now, going after face first into the cage. And now Zaya taking off her belt, and again, there is no disqualification here. Brookside not done yet, single leg drop kick, driving Elayna again into the steel cage. Into the solid steel. What could Zaya be thinking about doing with that belt here? As we see Indy Hartwell watching on backstage, that made her intentions known that she will be the next one to challenge for the gold. Although after insulting Daria Ray, there might be something else that might be ahead. And regardless who's champion, I want the next shot at the TNA Knockouts title. Now, whether or not Santino Marella agrees with that, we'll have to wait and see. It was Elayna Black that got the better of Indy Hartwell and Mara Sade in that triple threat counter match. Had some adversity on the countdown as Zaya just brained Elayna with that fist wrapped up with that belt. Now just teeing off now, just driving down against the child. And it looks like Zaya Brookside is seeing a little bit of red. Elayna Black busted open. Oh my! That cage right now showing the first victim tonight, shedding red. Elayna Black bleeding profusely. And going to reverse driving the point of that buckle into the open wound, carving Elayna Black's face. Those that don't know, though, in a previous life, Elayna Black was no stranger to bleeding, as she was a bit of a deathmatch wrestler. Oh my gosh, just driving that spike of that belt into the open wound of Elayna Black. And I've seen this ruthless, aggressive nature out of Zaya ever since she's won this TNA Knockouts World Championship. It goes back to what she said. Wow, you sick fuck, clearly licking the blood of her opponent. Enjoying every second right now at the expense of Chicago. Teeing off against Elayna Black with that wrapped up right hand with that metal belt buckle. A little bit of a payback from that piss poor makeover Elayna Black gave her just 2 weeks ago. Now look at this, tying Elayna Black into the second rope and literally choking her out with this belt. Almost going to be a lethal chokehold here, but again, no, everything goes, it's legal. There are no disqualifications inside lockdown, and that's what every match is. It's a lockdown match. Oh, she's ripping Elayna Black down with that belt, though, now is Xia. And Xia Brookside literally just hammering her way. Home field advantage. The momentum has literally been drowned out, courtesy of Xia Brookside, as Elayna Black continues to bleed profusely inside the steel cage. It's only going to be a matter of time here for Xia Brookside's mind. Now going for the cover, hook on the far leg, like a Daisy cover. Gets a 2 count, though. That said, we know just how deep Xia Brookside is willing to go. We saw what she was able to do against Wendy Chu. Now just driving her nails, crushing the head and squeezing the blood out of Elayna here. Just a disgusting display by the Dark Angel of the ring. Elayna Black's trying to fight back, though, but ripped down by her hair. And again, Xia Brookside going back after Elayna Black with that belt. I have never seen Xia Brookside this aggressive. Thought about the evolution again of both these young women. This isn't Cora Jade or the young angel of the ring that you knew from NXT and NXT UK. Right now trying to tie up Elayna Black, almost like a harness up against the steel cage, back elbow strike. And this matchup so far has been all Xia Brookside driving forward a single leg kick again. Yeah, that's why you are the champ. I'm not going to argue with you. And apparently Chicago is going to argue that. Elayna Black right now in a world of trouble, harnessed up against that steel cage with that belt. Still trying to fight back, though. She's finally broken the grip with that belt. Again, though, still braced up against the ropes in that cage. Creating separation with Xia Brookside. And we'll see how much Elayna Black is willing to endure and still willing to fight through in pursuit of the Knockouts title that she's been looking for since January when she was first signed by Daria Rand, the premiere of TNA and AMC. And again, right now, Xia Brookside, you see right now, Elayna Black in a world of trouble, a fucking mess. Elayna Black has, of course, ever since the start, though, as soon as the hometown was taken out of play, Xia Brooks has been in full control here. Now the axe handle to the midsection, though. Xia Brookside, Elayna Black still trying to fight back through this, though, as Chicago tries to wheel the hometown girl back in. And sliding Xia up against the second rope. Elayna Black. Oh, no! Sidestep and Black hits her elbow against the steel cage. Taken down with a clothesline now. One step too slow, trying to find that opening. And Xia Brookside capitalize. Now just teeing off here. Like a days ago, kicks pretty much. Just pushing her opponent towards the corner. Almost bullying her in a way. So a bit of a hush has fallen over Chicago right now, seeing this attack. Just stomping away here in the corner relentlessly and ruthlessly against Elayna Black. And squaring up with the double knees in the corner. Could just be a matter of time. Inside Russian leg sweep takedown. Float over. Lateral press. The cover by Xia Brookside gets a 2 count. As Black kicks out again. Resilience showing here by a rather bleeding profusely Elayna Black. See if she could channel her inner dark days that led her to what she was in the independent scene. A woman with her own mentality for this business. You can go see countless interviews regarding that, including her time that almost destroyed her mentally in NXT. Now up in the fireman's carry, got Xia Brookside. Xia, though, fighting back here. Able to find her way to the corner and push Elayna Black off. Now Xia up to the top rope. And Black trying to take the footing out from underneath her. Not exactly sure what Elayna was looking for there. And these two, again, we've seen so many high risk here. Inside the cage, once again, hooking up. And oh, man! Champion taken down hard with a backdrop suplex out of the corner off the top rope. Desperation move by the challenger. And it may have bought Elayna Black precious seconds here to regroup. Referee, of course, knows that right now, again, there is no need for a double down, as again, the only way this ends is via pinfall submission or escape the cage, as we do see Indy Hartwell watching on from backstage. And apparently that will be her next opportunity to become the knockout, much like she tried to do last year, if you remember, at Bound for Glory. Critical time right now in TNA when we look towards the future to see who will lead that future. Still to be decided tonight, and lethal lockdown, of course, against the system. Elayna Black pushing through, though, against Brookside. And again, taking the champion down, trying to find for momentum. Springing up the bottom rope with a single stomp to the lower spine. Chicago's own firing up here. She may have found second life, driving her knee in the corner against Brookside. And the momentum shift down with the gut wrench suplex release. Now the cover, hook the far leg side press for a new champion. Brookside gets the show of it too. You definitely sense the pendulum swinging though in favor of Chicago's own. Credit where credit's due for what Elayna Black's demonstrated here, fighting harder than ever. Oh, code breaker. Was looking for the blackout, unable to hook her though, and Brookside might be looking for the Dark DDT! Put in a dark cover too, and no! Kick out by Elayna Black. That's the first time someone's kicked out of Brookside's dark side DDT. Brookside right now apoplectic, can't believe it. Oh, and again, using the cage right now, relentlessly just throwing Elayna Black, pillar to pillar, post to post against everything she can. Once again, hooking her up for another dark side DDT. Elayna Black trying to counter, though. Now hooking up Brookside. The blackout, the cover, hit the far leg too, no! And we get the right shoulder up. Both these women have hit each other with their finishing moves. And this match continues as both go for broke. Again, this is for the TNA Knockouts World Title, the cornerstone of women's wrestling on the line. As we look back at the replay, butterfly, double underhook, twisting neck breaker, the blackout, kicked out for the first time by Brookside as she was able to survive the dark side DDT. Now Brookside, wait a minute, what the hell has she got in her hand? Wait, hold that thought. And whoa, was trying to throw powder. Elayna Black's counting it though. Okana, roll, reversal, cover. 2, pushed off though. Throw first in the second rope though. And I think she also hit the steel. Oh, and the powder in the face. Schoolgirl roll up, deep roll up. Brookside retains. At lockdown. And Chicago boos her out of the building and may riot as again she don't give a damn. She will literally do anything she has to hold on to that TNA Knockout World Championship. And she did that tonight as Indy Hartwell watches on backstage and has to realize exactly who she may be dealing with. To think these two used to be former friends. And now Brookside is anything but a friend. She is TNA's fiend. Regardless, Brookside, the Dark Angel of the Ring, still TNA Knockouts World Champion. And the bottom line, though, if Indy Hartwell wants this title, she's going to have to fight for it and earn it. And not just against Brookside either after insulting Daria Ray earlier. She might have to go through freaking upper management. Congratulations to Brookside, though. Commendable effort by Elayna Black, but you're not the knockout yet. Someone might want to check on her, though. She's still a freaking mess. Dropping her head like twice inside that steel cage. And, of course, in a previous time, she used to be on concussion protocol. So I hope that Elayna Black's okay. Congratulations to Brookside, who licks the taste of victory off her hand in Elayna Black's blood. Coming up next, though, is again, things become absolutely personal with another Chicago native. We now see Jason Hotch in the fall of the Order 4 as he defends the TNA International Championship against Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali demanding loyalty. Jason Hotch, all he wants is finality. Whew, boy. Been a heck of a good night so far. I will say a pretty damn decent show. And again, as I acknowledge the 150 plus of you, thank you so much for tuning in. Use the hashtag TNA Lockdown to be part of the conversation. And follow us today at SR Studios 2024 on the X. With that, let me go ahead and bring you the taglines for this match. In an internal roster vote set up by Mustafa Ali, Jason Hotch was deemed worthy to challenge Mustafa Ali for the TNA International Championship. And Ali took it as a joke. He wanted him to go to management and get this vetoed, reversed. But people like Leon Slater told him that we believe in him. And then the biggest encouragement to him was his own family and wife at ringside. On a few weeks ago on TNA television, Jason Hotch did the unthinkable for some people. He won the TNA International title as he embraced his young girl and his wife, his greatest encouragements, his biggest inspirations, his biggest leaders to follow along with him in this journey in life. And it was nothing but a celebration. But then it turned into a very dark omen as Mustafa Ali made it personal as possible, deeming that Jason Hotch stole everything from him, but he will take care of daddy's girl as he put his hand on Jason Hotch's wife's leg. And of course, basically instigated Jason Hotch into this rematch now here at Lockdown, where Mustafa Ali is a Chicago native and Jason Hotch is a native of my hometown, Toledo, Ohio. Sometimes the biggest encouragement in life is family. And there's a certain line you don't cross when it comes to a man and his wife and his young kid. Despite the fact that John Skyler might be his best friend, they are the great hands. Mila Moore instigated that I have Mustafa Ali, sending a message against the champion with Special Agent Zero. Tasha Steelz preventing Mustafa Ali from retaining with the legs on the ropes when he was defending the title. Will we see loyalty or will we see, once again, more deception? Maybe an uprise, an anarchy, in what has to be the finale of Jason Hotch and Mustafa Ali. Let's go ahead and take a look again at the headlines. This is Hotch's first time to pin Ali in TNA since January. And Ali, of course, has preyed on Hotch's psyche at the expense of his family. Is everything fine in the order 4? Will the future be known for this group tonight? And will Mustafa Ali be the man you trust to hold this title for a second time? It all happens right now at Lockdown. Oh, boy. And again, Walter, nothing but love to you. As I always say, priorities are my passions. And again, I thank you, of course, for your support. And again, folks, if you haven't already, subscribe to Rage of Wrestling. Yeah, that match and this match. Whoa! Tommy Gun style, Mafia style entrance by the Order 4. Well, of course, Chicago, no stranger to the friggin' Mafia taking over. We've seen a friggin' massacre here in a bygone life, as he looks to leave nothing but bullet holes and wounds for the heart of Jason Hotch in pursuit of regaining the TNA International title. This man, ironically enough, dressing like the Mafia, friggin' former policeman here. But as I said, you can go look at the history of Chicago when it comes to Al Capone's grip on this city, as Mustafa Ali wants to have absolute loyalty and a command of dictatorship over the TNA International Championship. Of course, at one point, we saw the Order 4 were upgraded, courtesy Mustafa Ali. That led Ali to beat Trey Miguel for the TNA International title, to the point Trey Miguel got injured. We've also already seen Special Agent Zero lose earlier tonight. And will we see top-notch Jason Hotch once again defeat Mustafa Ali for the second time? Come on, Jason Hotch, let's go! Toledo, Harvard's at my home city. 419. And of course, this will be Jason Hotch's first defense of his newly won and first ever singles title won in TNA. TNA International title. For those that don't know, Jason Hotch, not just from, of course, my area, he's been involved in this business, also been involved in Insane Wrestling Revolution now for the better part of 8 years. And Trey Miguel is one of his greatest influences and trainers as he kisses his lovely daughter and wife at ringside. Just as they were when Jason Hotch won the TNA International Championship in the main event on TNA Impact just literally 3 weeks ago. But again, Mustafa Ali has pushed boundaries beyond human capacity when it comes to getting inside Jason Hotch's head and trying to seize back what he believes is his, that TNA International Championship. Of course, the TNA National Championship, for those that don't know, is just a little bit over, I think, 2 years old. Whoa, okay, well, never mind. Screw the freaking title history. Hotch and Ali are immediately on the attack. Double leg takedown again. There's only so much a man can take when it comes to literally being embarrassed at the expense of your family. Hurt a man's pride at the expense of his wife. There's no turning back from that. Up and over goes Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali so agile and so incredibly cangy inside that ring. Able to catch himself up against the steel cage, and it looks like Ali's feet are caught up against the steel cage, humming a whole different level of a tree of woe. And right now, oh man, and Hotch just teeing off here with these super kicks on the top of the head of a suspended Ali. I don't blame him. The frustration, pulling over, and Ali taking advantage with one of his own. Dropping Hotch to his knee. Again, Hotch still firing back, though. Back elbow strike. Both these men with absolute adversity to each other. Springing up to the top rope. Oh, man! Oh, God! Oh, man! Halfway across the ring! Just gets closed by fine. The superplex. Cutter off the furlong gets enough here. Kick out at 2. Holy hell. Take a look at the replay here as Hotch springs up to the top rope, hooks Ali, sends him flying 3/4 across the ring, face first, and a vicious discus lariat with multiple months of pent-up frustration unleashed. Nearly getting the win there. Now the Irish whip reversal. Hotch, though, again, and Ali looking for a reprieve again. Sidestep. Oh, face first in the cage goes Ali. And now Hotch will take advantage with the tornado DDT. Is it enough here? Over the far leg to retain a lockdown kick at 2. Oh, man. The fact of the matter, though, I will give Ali credit. Ali has been instrumental in giving Hotch a chance on his career in TNA wrestling when the good hands were not great hands. But the fact that Hotch has seized this potential, that the TNA locker room sees in him, should go to that level of confidence that Hotch can do this on his own and doesn't need Ali anymore or the Order for. Unfortunately for John Skyler and Tasha Steelz, the jury is out. Clearly they don't agree with Ali, but loyalty is everything according to Ali. And right now, John Skyler and Tasha Steelz are still remaining to fall in line. As Skyler said, he needs this job. Now both men up to the top rope here. And Jason Hotch has Ali Guzzo. That's Ali. Ranks the eyes of Jason Hotch, though. Dangerous territory once again. A high risk might be taken here. Front face lock applied to the champion. And Ali right now might be looking to send Jason Hotch for a hard ride. To do everything he can to seize back that title. Now, wait. What's Jason Hotch thinking here? And now has Ali up in a position. And oh my God, what the hell? Oh my God! Bryan driver out of the corner! Off the top rope down to the ring! The awkward landing by the challenger and a sunset flip follow through. Still got Ali hoisted up. Powerbomb set out! Covered! 2! No! Somehow Ali able to escape. There is a different attitude out of Jason Hotch that I have not seen in a long damn time, and I've seen this man wrestle up and down the independents. And again, right now, you be part of the conversation to hashtag TNA Lockdown on the X or use at SR Studios to tag and let people know that we support TNA Wrestling and do this for all the biggest companies and the smallest venues. Here at the Samoa Studios, now breaking the eyes, and once again, Escalera with the wrist control. Out of corner, tornado DDT with Ali on Hotch. Now Ali with the chance here, hooks the near leg, back press to regain the turn. Hotch kicks out emphatically at 2. Talked about again the focus, the change in mindset. Now Special Agent Zero seizing the key from the referee as right now Mustafa Ali might be calling in a freaking insurance policy. And we've seen how instrumental Special Agent Zero has been for Mustafa Ali. As of course, Ali, if he escapes the cage, he will regain the title. Tasha Steelz closing the door on Mustafa Ali. What the hell are you doing, Tasha? an elbow drop in the status Secretary of Security. I think Tasha Steelz just went against her leader. Oh no! Sidekick and Tasha dropped down. No love lost for Mila Moore and Tasha Steelz. Of course, Tasha Steelz has not agreed with Mustafa Ali's tactics as of late. Now Jason Hotch on the outside of the ring. I'm telling you, I don't think it'll be over here. Even Hotch right now checking on Tasha Steelz, and John Skyler checking on Tasha Steelz at ringside here. No one gives a damn about Mila Moore, and I don't blame them. And Skyler is sending Tasha Steelz to the back right now. Again, I don't think Jason Hotch wanted to see Tasha Steelz. What's up, man? Good grief! Through the door, good Lord, diving through the cage. Escape means nothing here. Pinfall submission the only way to win. But just literally long dart himself through Jason Hotch. Freaking flyer miles by Ali. Target sighted and connected as Tasha Steelz and John Skyler have now left ringside. And this match is now taking itself outside the cage. And we saw how just freaking indisposable the entire Order 4 has been in Mustafa's career. Tasha Steelz has formerly taken bullets, literally, for Mustafa Ali to win. Now Ali looking to hook up Jason Hotch. Back body drop to Ali on the outside, though. Again, the title can only change hands inside the ring. They need to go inside the cage to render a decision. And right now, Jason Hotch laying out Mustafa Ali on this table. What the hell is Jason Hotch? You can't be serious, bro. Oh, no, Hotch. Come on now, Hotch. I understand you're looking for a conclusion. I understand you're looking for revenge. I understand you're looking for redemption for your family, but this is suicide, man. Don't do this. Now Mustafa Ali chasing Jason Hotch, who was going up to the top of the cage, looking for something ridiculous while Mustafa Ali was on that table on the outside. Now Ali and Hotch on the side of this cage, on the outside, high above the floor. Oh, good Lord. And look at this, Ali holding on for dear life to that top truss, and oh, man, it falls down hard to the floor. Dangling off the top of the cage. Bringing it back down to earth. Meanwhile, Jason Hotch high above the heavens. Looking to send Ali to hell. Now Jason Hotch, top-notch Hotch on the top of the steel cage. What the hell is he thinking here? Think about this, man. This is your whole career we're thinking about. Don't do this. Don't do this. You can. Crossbody off the top to the floor. Through a table, through Ali. Good Lord. What the fuck? Take a look. Good God, a massacre of humanity. Jeez. An absolute Evel Knievel level risk taken by Jason Hotch. Destroying himself and Ali through that table. This is what TNA Wrestling is all about, and this is the depth of what this feud has come to. And right now, somehow, Jason Hotch is just trying to get back to his feet. Personnel and staff and referees checking both men at ringside as they crawl out of that destroyed table. I'm surprised that Jason Hotch is still breathing as he grabs the inside of his left arm, hobbling his way forward out of that wreckage. Ali's barely moving. Jason Hotch is coughing up blood. Oh, my Lord. Oh, no. Hotch is bleeding internally, folks. Jason Hotch might literally have suffered internal injuries. And right now, Jason Hotch spitting up blood, and I hope the match is not going to be stopped like this. I mean, technically, if the champ can't continue, that would be considered a forfeit, although the referee could probably throw this contest out too if Ali can't continue. Might be broken ribs, maybe, or a bruised lung. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just thinking about what causes internal bleeding inside a body. You see right now, personnel are literally dragging up Jason Hotch here. Mustafa Ali smiling like a Cheshire cat while still grabbing a kid's rib cage. And somehow it seems like Ali came out of the better end of this game. And now Ali, don't do this. Ali once again going towards Jason Hotch's family, trying to instigate Hotch's wife at ringside and his young girl. Oh, no, come on now. What are you doing? Seizing a young girl's toy. What the fuck type of father figure are you? And Hotch saw it. Oh, man, this is not good. There's winning, and then there's winning by any means necessary. There's literally sacrificing your humanity if you had any left. Ali right now is an absolute despicable son of a bitch. And literally, Hotch was about to be carried out of the freaking arena area. Now just kicking around this child's toy and stomping away at it. It's almost like stomping away everything that Jason Hotch has worked towards for this family. And now Mila Moore, what the hell is that? Is that a lighter? Oh, you are not going to light that toy on fire. No. No. Chicago should have a fire code for the inside of this building. Don't you do this. Don't you fucking do this. You fucking despicable, evil human being. And Hotch is standing up, double-leg takedown. Fucking kill him, Hotch. He deserves it. Wait, what? I think Ali just burned out Hotch's eyes with that lighter. I think Jason Hotch just got burned out with that lighter. And now hoisted up, and again, Hotch was going to the freaking defend the loyalty and integrity of his family. And what the hell is Mustafa Ali doing now? Suspending Jason Hotch with a steel cage. And now trying to literally tie him up with the freaking elastic band of his trunks. Leaving it once and for all a lasting impression of what it means when you betray him and leave the order for. And again, John Scott and Tasha Steeles. Oh, nowhere to be found. And Ali right now is whipping Jason Hotch with that elastic band across his midsection while he's suspended on that steel cage. Hotch with nowhere to go, nowhere to defend himself. The depths that Mustafa Ali is willing to go. Worse than any politician in the public office. About to say right now, I'm not sure what Jason Hotch is even thinking right now. I know his family was moving away from ringside. I'm not even sure his wife and his daughter can look at this. And right now, Mustafa Ali perching Jason Hotch up on the top turnbuckle. How much more punishment can Ali freaking give to Jason Hotch? How much more of this insult can Jason Hotch endure? Can he overcome this onslaught, especially after the risk he took earlier? And Ali right now might be looking to hook Jason Hotch for something that would be absolutely a finale. Trying to put Hotch up on top of the steel cage. Whoop! Ali flipping towards center. Now Jason Hotch up to the top. I can't do it, but stop! Watching Ali! What the hell, man? How the hell is he doing this? From the top of the cage, crushing down on Ali. Break the arm, go for the cover, please end this thing too. And no! Somehow, some way, Ali still holds true in this fight. His damn black heart beats. Jason Hotch with his own variation, Mustafa Ali's driving double foot stomp to the heart if Ali has a heart from the top of the cage. And this is the depths of, again, what Jason Hotch is willing to do, not only for himself, but more importantly, for his family. And right now, seizing that toy that Mustafa Ali grabbed, spear by Mustafa Ali. And right now, Mustafa Ali going up to the top rope, and Jason Hotch lays prone in the drop zone. Ali might be 450 away from seizing his title. 450 splash connects. Cover 2 and no. And I think Jason Hotch got the toy between him and Ali and softened the impact. 2.5. Ali can't believe it. Bloody, bruised, battered, broken, abused, and Jason Hotch is still in this fight. And now Ali trying to seize that toy from Jason Hotch, who refused to let go of the grip as if he's holding on to his own one true family. And again, Ali is apoplectic. Hotch is not letting go of what has brought him here, his family, the love and admiration of the TNA fans. Mustafa Ali looking to take everything. 450 splash again. Tour between cover. Hook of the leg. Mustafa Ali regains the TNA International Championship. What the hell did he actually gain? besides a piece of freaking leather. Sacrificing everything else altogether. Damn. And that wicked witch of propaganda, his Secretary of Operations, holding on to the newest prize that Mustafa Ali has regained. Ali now a two-time TNA International Champion. Family be damned. Accomplishment found. And John Skyler right now coming back down, screaming at ringside. Of course, Jason Hotch's best friend, the other half of the good hands, his great hand, his right side man, as Mustafa Ali lying pretty much barely on his feet. This match took a whole nother level of personal that it did not need. But at the end of the day, Mustafa Ali got what he came for and regained the TNA International Championship. But what was the point? Like, seriously, what was the point of instigating all of this with another man's fucking family? That is downright deplorable and despicable and absolutely unforgiving. John Skyler needs to be his own man and leave Mustafa Ali much like Jason Hotch. At least Jason Hotch has one thing that Ali will never have: integrity. Jason Hotch made a choice and was more valuable, that championship or literally being a champion as a father and as a father figure and a husband. As he gives that toy back to his young girl at ringside, embraces his wife, and John Skyler helping Jason Hotch out of the arena. Standing ovation for the commendable effort by the former TNA International Champion. Left literally blood, sweat, and tears in that ring inside lockdown. And someone tells me, despite the fact that Ali got back what he wanted, this is far from over. Jeez. Well, as we try and regroup from that very personal situation, I can only hope that Jason Hotch will be okay. But at the end of the day, Ali got exactly what he wanted. And apparently some people think Ali regaining is best for business, but maybe he's, you know, somebody that appreciates a propaganda campaign or a political scam. Nonetheless, you're entitled to your opinion. I still say, why give Hotch the chance if you're not going to let him have the championship? But again, that's hindsight of professional wrestling. Speaking of which, again, I hope that you continue to follow along with here at Studios. Of course, our next stop on the TNA nonstop watch-along schedule will be Bound for Glory. As we change gears now and get ready to fly with the son of the phenomenal AJ Styles, as we have an interview segment to segue for this time. Please welcome in Avery Styles. All right. Let's see what this leads to. And we'll see if he becomes just as phenomenal as his father. The son of the man that built this house known as TNA Wrestling, Avery Styles. We heard that he would be here tonight. Like father, like son, how so many families, 5 generations that follow in this business. Welcome, Avery Styles, to TNA Wrestling. Let's see what he's got to say. Every chance being out loud and proud. He's got that same hairstyle as AJ used to have. So it's that you here. I understand you have something to share with the TNA fans. What's that? You guys know what TNA means to me and my family. All right. And you guys also know. And you guys also know AJ Styles would not be the guy he is today without TNA. Yes, that's accurate. And Avery Styles won't become who he is going to be without TNA. Huh? So I'm here to announce that I'm officially signed to TNA Wrestling! Avery Styles, it's oh fucking hell. Here comes the clown. Of course, Kazarian has to come in and literally spoil the party for someone far more phenomenal than him. If anyone knows AJ Styles, though, and TNA better than Kazarian, I would love to know who that is, though. I will say that. But as we just heard, as he takes the mic from EJ Miller and wastes his airtime, ladies and gentlemen, Avery Styles officially signed to TNA Wrestling. And Kazarian saying he's here to welcome you aboard. Bullshit. It's no secret. Your dad and I, we're like brothers. In fact, we're closer than brothers. Me, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, we share a bond so strong. That can never be broken. All of us pour our hearts in this place to make this company what it is today. Well, that's the smartest thing Aaron said in a long time. Also, there's a lot of stakes in that locker room. There's a lot of guys that would take you out just because of your last name. But not me. I'm going to trust Kazarian. He's a snake in his own right. You should understand. There's a lot of people back there you can't trust. But remember, you can always trust me. You cannot trust Kazarian as far as you could throw him. I'm just saying. With that being said, Avery Styles, watch your back around that freaking carny. And welcome officially to TNA Wrestling. Avery Styles is TNA. That's a hell of an addition. And we'll see if he has just a phenomenal career. Speaking of phenomenal careers in AJ Styles, from the first X Division champion to who hopefully will be the next X Division champion, or who may never be considered X Division champion, according to the history books. It's Sid Alexander, Leon Slater, and it's last man standing. And if Cedric wins, Leon Slater's X Division history will be marked as it never happened. Again, congratulations to Avery Styles, who has signed officially to TNA Wrestling. That's a hell of a moment. For those that don't know, let me go ahead and bring you up to speed on this. Of course, Leon Slater has been a pioneer, a cornerstone for this generation's X Division. Ever since being moved last year at Summerversary for the X Division Championship, being endorsed by the phenomenal AJ Styles, going on to showcase this title in NXT, and going on to further promise to nearly beating the run of Austin Aries. Cedric Alexander and Leon Slater have shared a 3-match run where, thanks to the system, Cedric Alexander stole the TNA X Division Championship. Cedric Alexander's X Division history has been defined by Leon Slater, and he can't stand it. He has taken every avenue, every shortcut, every avoidance to avoid giving Leon Slater this opportunity until Leon Slater put something on the line that Cedric chose. His milestones, his history. If Cedric wins, I want you all to put this perspective. It will be known that Leon Slater never beat Moose. Cedric would have been the one that would have been the next X Division champion after Moose. The youngest ever X Division champion would be Amazing Red, not Leon Slater. The AJ Styles endorsement would have never happened. And of course, Sid Alexander would now be the guy considered up there in the ranks with Austin Aries, as Leon Slater's run would have never happened. It's literally erasing the books, the history, to delete a man's accomplishments. That's what Sid Alexander wants, to remove Leon Slater from X Division existence. And if Slater wins his last man standing match, he will achieve that. That is the stipulation. Of course, Leon Slater also said he is here to become the face of TNA, and in order to do that, he has to beat former TNA World Champions. But before that, he also needs to seize back the X Division Championship. With Destiny X around the corner, everything's on the line for Leon Slater against Sid Alexander. Again, there you see the taglines. If Sid Alexander defeats Leon Slater, Reign would no longer be recognized by TNA Wrestling. Title Kids would recognize the title movement from Moose to Sid Alexander with a period of inactivity during Leon Slater's reign. Amazing Red would once again be recognized as the youngest champion, and Austin Aries would be the sole holder of the record for the longest X Division title run. That is crazy, stupid situation to be considered here. But that is what we're dealing with. Have a good set for this last man standing match in the X Division. Again, tell the tape, Cedric 1, 2, 3 falls match in May. Leon pinned Alexander in a tag team match. And again, Slater's TNA records could absolutely be erased. It's still crazy to think about the conversations made out of this match came on the behest of the fact that freaking Alexander just cannot seem to prove he's better than Leon Slater and has broke him to this deep end. As we wait for the youngest in charge to land down once again. And again, folks, here is what's at stake here. In case you are wondering, this is what was just said on TNA Lockdown. And personally, I really hope that Leon Slater, because TNA needs guys to be the future of TNA wrestling, and this man is the future, the youngest in charge, needs to be the freaking TNA X Division champion again, in my opinion. And apparently Walter Cruz echoes the sentiment on how stupid this stipulation is. The youngest in charge, coming to us from the UK, signed by Scott D'Amore during a Turning Point tour, has made TNA his home and has been doing nothing but bringing the X Division forward for the last calendar year. He came this close to winning the title back at Slammiversary before that freaking rat, Cedric Alexander, seized the title from underneath his hands and escaping with it. Leon Slater is literally diving into lockdown tonight, putting everything on the line, his very existence on the line tonight, where after the night, he may never get a chance at this title again otherwise, it seems. You figure about, again, the greatest fear of Leon Slater to not be known might be literally realized tonight at the hands of Cedric Alexander if the system works. Here we go, folks. And of course, we know the system will be involved in lethal lockdown, but of course, with this being no disqualification, do not rule out the system being involved here, who played instrumental in Cedric Alexander winning that title. And before we get into things, I did, well, I guess that was just a false thing. Never mind. TNA has a relationship with the Fed, so it would match the record. Well, you would hope, but again, I don't trust the Fed with young cruiserweights and Japanese wrestlers for good reason. And I also don't trust the prime of TNA that used to be the heart and soul of 205 Live in Cedric Alexander, who has used every possible shortcut to hold on to that X Division title. It was for a damn Boston knee part can't run with freaking Eddie Edwards. Fabian Aichner very well could right now be the X Division champion. At the end of the day, you cannot erase what the internet's going to preserve more than a fake-ass book you could try and put a eraser or a black line through in TNA wrestling. We saw it, we witnessed it, we lived it. In Cedric Alexander's bizarre mind, though, if he wins, though, it would have never happened. He would be the cause of everything right now, not Leon Slater. And of course, there you see the cornerstone of TNA wrestling, first won by the phenomenal AJ Styles, the title that has been defined by a division with no limits, the TNA X Division champion. Most accomplished X Division champion of all time, of course, influential 10-time champion Chris Sabin. Other champions that have followed this title's legacy, including but not limited to the biggest, the fastest, the swiftest, including TNA Hall of Famer Amazing Red. And right now, Cedric Leon Slater squaring off here in the middle of the ring. So many incredible men have used the TNA X Division title to carve a name, a legacy here in TNA wrestling. Whether or not you want to acknowledge Austin Aries, the reason that he won that title led him to become the TNA World Champion against Bobby Roode. And I think Leon Slater could very much do the same thing if he goes in as X Division Champion at Destination X. Irish reversal, Cedric Alexander sent into the cage. Big boot, though, by Leon Slater. One of Leon Slater's earliest defenses was against Cedric Alexander before he joined the system, and he beat Cedric that night. Sense of urgency right now by Leon Slater in more ways than one, considering what's on the line, more than the title, his very namesake, his TNA greatest accomplishments and history is on the line in this one-of-a-kind stipulation. Wait a second, Cedric Alexander right now hoisting up Leon Slater out of the corner. Yeah, whoa, man, big Hurricane Rana. And of course, like I said, in the 2 out of 3 falls match towards the very end, it was the system that led to Cedric Alexander seizing the title. Nice Michinoku driver using Leon Slater's own momentum against him on the run-in. If we can keep this energy going forward here against Leon Slater to use that against his advantage, then Cedric Alexander will be in control for most of this matchup. Now, Cedric Alexander bringing Leon Slater closer to the corner. And of course, a critical night here for the system that calls themselves the gatekeepers here, as of course they look to gatekeep the future of TNA wrestling in Lethal Lockdown, where we will have Fabian, Aichner, Sosa, Casey Navarro, and Jada Stone. Oh, it's a Curry. And we saw a block by Slater there as his foot was caught inside the cage, rebounding off the ropes with that leg lariat. Incredible agility there by the youngest in charge, Leon Slater, of course, who was previously the TNA X Division champion for 296 days, might I add, across an incredible run of 12 defenses. Oh, pop up in the top rope. Kick right to the face there by Leon Slater. Now up to the top rope goes the youngest in charge. And I was afraid that Leon Slater would do something death-defying here tonight as he goes up to the top of the cage, up above the cage door. And oh, man, dropping down with the back elbow strike. Took a lot out of himself, though, at that high-risk maneuver. But then again, that goes back to the imagination and innovation of being a pioneer of the X Division. Take a look at this, just dropping down backwards against Cedric Alexander. Of course, Cedric Alexander right now has held this title since May. Cedric Alexander, prior to that, defended successfully against Eric Young, Nick Nemeth, AJ Francis, Rich Swann, Javon Evans with no contest thanks to dark stage shit. Myron Reed was probably my favorite match that he had during that run. And Cedric Alexander and Jason Hotch in a triple threat, amongst others. Again, there is no fear, though, on Leon Slater. Even defended this in a semi-way scramble. And right now, Cedric Alexander trying to get the better of Leon here in this elbow exchange. If there is one advantage that Cedric might have, being the heavier athlete here, is maybe the striking game. Side headlock, waist lock applied right now. First time these two men face each other, as I pointed out, was very early in Leon Slater's X Division title run. Went for the leg lay, dumped underneath, hooking up Leon Slater. Leon fighting back, though. Maybe forgot a backdrop suplex. And Leon set up across the second rope. Now going up to the top rope again. Looking for the kick, and Cedric picking the leg. Now catching Leon out of midair, up in the shoulder. The strength of Alexander, law-darting Leon Slater into the cage. Face first goes the challenger. First time they faced each other was back in Emergence 2025, and Leon Slater got the better of the Prime that night. They wouldn't face each other again till Rebellion 2026, and Leon Slater got the better of Cedric Alexander on that occasion. Of course, 2 out of 3 falls, though, tied the record as Cedric was able to win against Leon Slater thanks to the help of the system 2-1. Leon Slater now busted open, though, after going face first in the cage. And we saw how detrimental that was to Elayna Black earlier tonight. And again, right now, I see the conversation here as, again, Walter Cruz reminding us that we have been all alive and seen this happen the entire time. It would be a dumbass stipulation, a dumbass analysis to pretend that none of that happened through the better part of the later half of last year into this year, and I completely agree. There's a straight target right now, and drop kick to the back of the shoulder blades and head of Leon Slater by Cedric Alexander. Again, you gotta consider, folks, if you've been watching TNA for the first time, or you're a long-time follower like I've been, pretty much in this entire company's inception, through the good, the bad, and the indifferent, this is what TNA is known for. One-of-a-kind, unique stipulations that you question, but you still wonder how they work in execution. Now Leon Slater now has to figure out a new game plan, though. Kawada kicks now by Cedric Alexander, getting the better of the challenger. Rising knee strike, just dropping Leon hard. Many people call this maybe Leon Slater's swan song if he loses tonight. And Cedric Alexander, who's been involved in this game now for 17 years, currently has been the X Division champion now for 102 days. And this actually marks his third defense after outlasting Ultimate X and Fabian Aichner, thanks to Eddie Edwards' help. What a thriller that was, though, against Fabian Aichner, main event on TNA television. I encourage you to go watch that on YouTube, folks. Went for the quad kick again. Leon Slater able to duck underneath, hoisted it up, and over legs blue thunder bomb. You got some extra rotation on that one too. Slater right now just trying to find some sort of new life in this matchup. For every offense, looking for a defense, and then some more innovative offense is the youngest in charge. Oh, driven face first on the ascent, though, by Cedric. Too slow to follow up, and the champion takes advantage. Incapacitating right now, Leon Slater in the corner. Cedric Alexander, the 111th X Division champion in this company's history. after this title was first established back in 2002. No doubt Avery Styles might have his eyes on this prize, much like how his father used this title as his first cornerstone in his illustrious TNA career. Now Slater lining up the chest of Cedric Alexander, who's perched up in the corner, trying to find another gear here, and Leon with fire in his eyes, and Cedric grabbing the leg, though, and oh, man! Bitch, don't go drive out the corner! Incredible counter offense, but I wonder how much Alexander damaged himself on the way down, falling hard on that right hamstring. And again, I want to remind you, this is last man standing. There is truly only one way to win, to incapacitate your opponent to the point they cannot answer the count of 10 by the referee. Count of 6 right now on Leon Slater. Cedric Alexander smiling like a Cheshire cat, screaming for Leon Slater to stay down, and Leon finds his way back up to his feet at 8. No way was he going to let this match end. The match continues. Oh, counter destroyer! Where the hell did Leon get that from? Now Leon Slater right now with his own war cry, looking to send Cedric hard face first in the steel cage. Now driving to get the player post to post. And a newfound level of aggression being brought out by the youngest in charge. Slater absolutely apoplectic. And we've seen this drive, this fire, this fighting spirit rise out of Leon Slater now for the last 3 years he's been involved in TNA wrestling. Once again, squaring up Cedric with that side kick to the head up against the steel cage. Is that the KO shot that Leon Slater needs, though? Take a look at the replay here, by the way, on this incredible counter into a Canadian destroyer. Shout out to Petey Williams. Another all-time great in TNA wrestling. Up to 3 right now, and Leon Slater feeling very, very good right now. And so Alexander bleeding. Both these men seeing red in more ways than one. And Leon Slater right now just squaring up against Cedric, opening up against that wound. Fists of fury flying. Staying on the attack. Oh! Now just rebounding Cedric Alexander up against the steel rope into the steel cage. Again, it was Cedric Alexander that busted open Leon Slater first, so turnabout's fair play, especially when it's all legal, and how personal this has gotten in trying to make a mockery and embarrassment out of Leon Slater. A footnote in TNA wrestling, according to Cedric Alexander, if he wins. Inside the cage, up in the fireman's carry, turn him around, spin him out, airplane spin. Good Lord! Utopia! And Leon Slater is not done yet, just sending Cedric on a freaking 1080 revolution. The fans coming to their feet, and Leon Slater up to the top. Woo! 450 splash, able to go inside though, catching Cedric Center on the run with the rising knee. Up against the second rope. Oh man, coming in Seguri. Somehow both these men have answers for everything the other man has so far, and that goes back to the familiarity and the longevity of their history. Now Cedric Alexander looking to hook up Leon Slater out of the corner, pausing for a Spanish fly to the floor. Oh man, face first in the cage goes Cedric, and Leon Slater now in control of the champion. Over someone high risk here. Got a hold of Alexander. Down! Oh, man, taken down almost into a double twisting neckbreaker. But you see Slater there right now. Worse for wear. I'm not sure who got the better of that. Or the worse. Take another look at this, by the way. This driving boot to the side of the head that busted Cedric Alexander open. All that form momentum of a Haluva kick. And the superplex turned into a twisting net breaker by Cedric Alexander. Leon Slater as both men crash the canvas. Referee's count right now up to 6. Of course, if both men are counted down, Leon Slater would lose and Cedric Alexander would retain the X Division Championship. Count of 8. Both men stirring. Count of 9. Count of 9. Count of 9. Whoa, both men up at the last possible second. Using each other's shoulders to keep each other up off the canvas. That's the only way either man was able to get up to their feet, I feel like. The fact of the matter, though, that the prime of the system used Leon Slater to get up to his feet shows the drive that he has to show that he's better than Leon tonight. Oh, big right hand. And so Alexander lining up the challenger. Oh, trying to wipe away the legacy of Leon Slater. What a leg lariat. And going forward, blind shot to the back of the head of Cedric. Lethal lariat. Cedric is literally rocked. Now the waist lock applied. What is this? Now hoisting up Cedric, possibly. Lumbar check by Leon Slater. Insult to injury, and again, second lumbar check, trying to break the man's spine to once again preserve his history, and a third lumbar check. How the hell is Slater going to be able to stand up straight after this? Again, when your legacy's on the line, you will do things beyond regular means to hold yourself in time. Swanton 450. The final nail in this coffin. So says Leon Slater, who commands the count. I would be shocked to see Cedric get up from this. Up to 4 right now as Leon Slater looks down at the prone Cedric Alexander. Up to 7. Up to 8. Up to 9. 10. That is it. Leon Slater wins. And regains the X Division title. The system fails. And the prime falls. As Leon Slater now is a 2-time X Division champion. Good Lord, the intensity and the level of aggression in preserving and continuing to grow in his legacy in TNA wrestling on full display tonight for the newly crowned TNA X Division champion. Thank Christ. What an effort. Leon Slater regains the X Division title and preserves his legacy in TNA wrestling. Let's take a look at the finishing stretch here. That blind shot leg lariat to the back of the head of Cedric Alexander and a hat trick of lumbar checks. The knees into the back of Cedric with the final nail in the coffin. That beautiful Swanton 450 crushing the former X Division champion. Talk about making a statement. And this goes for anybody that wants to underappreciate, underestimate, or try and forget the name Leon Slater, the youngest in charge, once again, the youngest X Division champion. Achieving new heights and more new heights to come in the future of TNA wrestling for Leon Slater. Well done, Leon. We got Daria Ray backstage now. Whew. You understand what I called you? Who's she calling? I'll see you Thursday. There's been an attack. Wait, who got attacked now? What the hell? Elijah's been attacked. It's a Tina Morello right now checking on Elijah. If this is the second mysterious attack, I understand Daria Ray was on the phone, but come on now. That was right around the corner. Who's attacking these people? First it was Cedric Alexander, and, okay, Cedric tries to make an excuse, right? He was mysteriously attacked. There was no excuse to that as far as I'm concerned. Back of the line, bottom of the barrel, bottom of the division. Leon Slater is the face of the X Division, but who just attacked Elijah? Well, again, more questions to come. It's, again, TNA's future, still a whole lot more unknowns. Coming up next, though, inside the structure that this show is known for, it is now time to see Lethal Lockdown. For those that don't know, here are the rules. One member of each team starts inside the steel cage. After 2 minutes, a new competitor enters every minute. Once all competitors enter, the cage roof lowers with weapons and lethal lockdown officially begins. And the only way the match can be won is via pinfall or submission. Surrender and escape means nothing, and the system has the advantage. It's TNA's future versus the self-proclaimed gatekeepers. It's time for a lethal lockdown. And the first man that the system sends into the war zone, Bronson. That's a killer and a half for those that follow his GCW career. Former TNA Tag Team Champion alongside Bryan Meyers. And of course, Bronson has tried to rearrange the spine of both Ricky Sosa and Casey Navarro as of recently. You want to talk about a forefront of the system this year since Eddie Edwards updated to the latest version with the addition of Bronson and Cedric Alexander in the short time they've been part of the system. Both have already been champions in TNA wrestling and have run roughshod over this company. As he looks to try to shut down the future of TNA wrestling. I'm not sure how wise it is to cage a wild animal like Bronson, who's been involved in some of the damnedest depth matches I've seen in GCW. And to your point, Walter, the system just lost some serious momentum. Well, let's see who goes ahead and starts off for the opposite side. Ooh, Vidi Vici. Fabian Aichner kicking things off here for Team TNA. Of course, Fabian Aichner, also one of the newest wrestlers to cross the line, came in and confronted the system for the first time, and of course went on to challenge Cedric Alexander after a 6-way scramble win for the X Division Championship, where again, if it wasn't for that damn Eddie Edwards, this gladiator could have very well been the X Division champion. He also was involved fighting for the advantage for his team, and thanks to the system's involvement and a low blow by Bryan Meyers with a roster cut follow-up, Bryan Meyers won the advantage for the system. And now how apropos that the man who lost the advantage kicks things off for his team to try and find an advantage against Bronson as the clock goes down for 2 minutes. And these two men right now will have the longest level of war and endurance until this match officially begins. Let's see the clothesline and Bronson. Oh, coming to Lufez, pressed by Fabian Aichner. And the strategy here has to be literally how you handle the time, how you handle the disadvantage, especially for Fabian Aichner, who will be in a 2-on-1 handicap for the better part of 2 minutes after he deals with Bronson. So the best thing that Fabian Aichner can do right now is separate himself or find a weakness. Wear down Bronson. Oh, man, deadlift German. And somehow Bronson back up to his feet and hoisting up Fabian Aichner for the toss. And Fabian Aichner back up to his feet. And both these men far from the early going here. Full man collide, middle of the ring. Of course, this will be the first time we see Bronson and Fabian Aichner inside of a lockdown. Oh, man, full man collide, middle of the ring. And of course, as I said, Bronson will be the first one with a one-upsmanship against Fabian Aichner. Still so much more to come, of course. Outside this, of course, we still have our main event. This is our semi-main event, believe it or not, as our main event will be the Hardyz versus the Nemeth for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. And right now, they are just literally giving time to these two men. For lethal lockdown will not begin right now for the better part of pretty much 10 minutes. And now up on the shoulders goes Bronson, Fabian Aichner steamrolling through, former member of Imperium, by the way, sprint out of the corner with the second rope moonsault. As Fabian Aichner right now keeps control of the field, he also needs to keep himself in well condition, knowing the punishment he has to deal with. Count of 10 seconds as we wait for the next member of the system to come out here, and Bronson is about to get some aid, and we'll see soon enough who will it be. Will it be Eddie Edwards or Bryan Meyers? Let's see what we got here. And it looks like it's going to be Bryan Meyers, the tag partner for the former TNA World Tag Team Champions alongside Bronson, and the man who took advantage of Fabian Aichner to give the system this advantage. Now Fabian Aichner in a worst-case scenario for the next minute here. And this is where that advantage pays so much dividends. You figure about previous, of course, lethal lockdown matches of the past when it comes to getting that advantage. More often than not, it's been the heels getting the advantage here when it comes to the lethal lockdown matches. I mean, again, you can do a lot of damage in 1 to 2 minutes against a person, especially when you got a handicap against them. At the end of the day, all lethal lockdown is a wear down of at least one person for the better part of 10 total minutes with others to follow. Of course, lethal lockdown goes all the way back to 2005, Team Nash versus Team Jared. Last time we saw lethal lockdown, of course, was Team Lashley versus Team EC3 in 2016. And that wasn't even on a pay-per-view. That was on Impact Wrestling Television. Of course, you figure about the instrumental ideas of lethal lockdowns that were inspired by the original War Games by the late, great Dusty Rhodes, God rest his soul, all the way back in WCW. And it looks like Case Navarro is going to help Fabian Aichner here as the field has been even. And of course, earlier challenged Nick Nemeth for the TNA World Championship and now finds himself on his own. But it's also been on the bitter end of the system's assault and insults. We're seeing how well Case Navarro can catch himself inside those ropes, and Bronson going face first into the steel. Up and around. Oh, man. Great speed and agility by Case Navarro, taking down Bryan Meyers with that DDT. So-called blessed one, as he calls himself. These up-and-coming stars, of course, of TNA Wrestling. And Lord knows TNA Wrestling's roster needs all the up-and-coming stars they can get that didn't got wasted by this place and went on to better stages like Maple Leaf Pro, Danny Luna. And right now, face first goes Bryan Meyers and Bronson in the steel cage as Fabian Aichner and Case Navarro are taking full advantage of this cage and this 1 minute dead even field. As we already wait for our next person in 5 seconds as the field will once again be handicapped in favor of the system. I gotta imagine it's going to be Eddie Edwards. And here comes the man that has the only history more than Bryan Meyers and lethal lockdown, previously involving two of them. Whoa! Case Navarro taking close to the win, diving the outside against Eddie Edwards. Not wasting any time here. That was a smart move, though, in my opinion, though. Leaving Eddie Edwards at bay. Oh, first kick, though, buying precious time right now for Fabian Aichner and himself. Now, Aichner, though, able to go out alone. Irish whip by Bryan Meyers, hard into the cage. Taken down, though, by the most professional wrestler. Meyers and Bronson right now back in control. Double teaming Aichner. Case Navarro down the corner. And Bronson shedding blood after going face first into the steel. Of course, we saw Case Navarro recently beat Bryan Meyers via disqualification as the system was looking to weaken this team even before this match. Face first goes Casey inside the steel cage. And now Eddie Edwards is locked in, and we got a 3-on-2 situation. People locked in, of course, already showing the scars of battle. In 5 seconds, though, as we await already to even things up here with Ricky Sosa. Ricky Sosa, of course, who crossed the line earlier this year, endorsed by the RFNS himself, Chris Bay, and of course was trying to be recruited by the system, who said, hell no, as him and Leon Slater have gotten the better already of Bronson and Bryan Meyers on previous occasions. You can say Ricky Sosa has really came out and shown out here. Stephanie Zaguri wiping out Bronson. Eddie Edwards, low weight slot, German suplex. Ricky Sosa lands on his feet. Sosa with a pinfall win against Bryan Meyers. A win against Eric Young, and of course, a hard-fought battle against Bronson. What a scoop slam! And Ricky Sosa right now has really turned this match completely around in a matter of seconds. I'm not gonna lie, his theme is a bop. Bang, bang. Sosa. I'm into this kid. I'm into this young man from, of course, the Netherlands and France, or Deutschland. And right now we're seeing the side of Ricky Sosa brought out here, particularly by Eddie Edwards, who first instigated this young upstart. Oh, one of the last member of the system coming out now is, of course, this is a mixed lethal lockdown match as out comes Alisha Edwards. And we'll see how effective this annoying cheat code is as she enters lethal lockdown. Of course, Alisha Edwards suffered a pinfall loss against Harley Hudson who saved her TNA career and also was eliminated from the TNA Knockouts television tournament by Jada Stone. And right now, bucking up against Ricky Sosa. Look at the height disadvantage here, though. Oh, and again, Sosa taken from behind by Bryan Eddie Edwards. That damn Jezebel being the one key factor in the system's freaking cheat code advantage that they've employed and used as a virus in this company. Of course, Moose was able to figure that out early enough, though. There's only one more entrant left before lethal lockdown begins, by the way, folks. And what lethal lockdown means, the roof will fall down, covered in weapons, and the only way this will end is via pinfall or submission inside the ring. And no, Darren, I don't want to know something. The less that woman talks, the better. And right now, Bear Bronson and Byron Meyers teeing off against Fabian and Aichner, and Alisha raking her nails in case Navarro in 7 seconds, though, comes out the spark, Jada Stone, and I know what this spark's capable of here. And what the hell is Bear Bronson doing? Alisha Edwards holding onto the door. And right now, the spark, Jada Stone, ready for battle in the cameo. And Bear Bronson's outside, though, trying to play a barricade. No, Jada Stone's got no fear, though. Jada Stone on the run, swinging a miss by Bear Bronson, and Jada Stone right now climbing the cage here. Stone right now is looking for her own way inside lethal lockdown. Jada Stone up to the top of the TNA lethal lockdown cage, and oh my Lord! What the hell? Moonsaults crushing down at the knees. Warming herself and everybody. I did say that Spark shows no fear, but now the real fun begins. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome officially to lethal lockdown. As all the weapons will be now brought down inside the ring. What the hell? Barbed wire board? Bear Bronson bringing him more planet from underneath the ring. Apparently the ceiling's not enough. You can see the weapons adorned across the top. Everything from kendo sticks, steel chairs, trash can lids, a stop sign. As lethal lockdown officially is underway and all 8 participants are locked inside. Well, here we go. There is no escape now. There's the bell. There's the referee. There's the bow line drawn in the sand. It's TNA versus the system, and here we go. And all 8 participants right now just literally throwing fists of fury. Alisha Edwards sent into the steel cage right now. This is just going to be nothing but a freaking 8-person melee. This is where... Yeah, about to say, why not? Grab the weapons. That's what Team Morella says. You want to use weapons? Okay. Barbed wire baseball bat. Shout out to Sammy Callahan. Steel chair seized by Ricky Sosa. Everyone grabbing weapons right now. And a steel chair and a steel trash can and everything being worn on the backs of the system. Sosa wearing out of the Edwards. Barbed wire baseball bat braced across the face of Bryan Meyers by Navarro. So far, kendo stick seized finally by Jada Stone. Swinging for the fences across Bear Bronson. Wow, splintering that thing in half. Oh, and driving the jagged tops of that kendo stick into the midsection of Alisha Edwards. We saw how devastating and damaging that was this past Thursday on Impact, by the way. Oh, wow. Popped up and Eddie Edwards is Case Navarro by Fabian and Aichner. Again, there is no escape. All 8 participants are locked inside the steel cage. Powerbomb sit out by Aichner. And Case Navarro frog splash to Eddie Edwards. And that might be it. And the system breaks it up. Let's say I'm not even inside this thing, and I love this violence. Oh, man, drop kick by Aichner to Bear Bronson. And now Jada Stone. What is Jada looking for here? Another kendo stick? Why not? Go ahead. Split it across Alisha Edwards' chest. Rip apart her chest. Why don't you? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, double low blow by that witchy bitch to Case Navarro and Ricky Sosa. Alisha Edwards paying dividends right now, going to save her ride or die partner, Eddie Edwards. And now, kicked in the uprights. Oh, and a kendo stick by Jada Stone against Alisha. And now Jada still trying for the fences against this ride or die couple of nonsense. Super kick to Bear Bronson and Jada Stone right now. This spark unleashing like a firecracker. Of course, Jada Stone will be involved in the finals against M by Elegance for the TNA Knockouts Television Championship after eliminating Alisha Edwards. And the thumbtacks have come into play. Looking to turn Alisha Edwards into a humanized pincushion. Up in the fireman's carrying Alisha Edwards, fighting out for her dear life. And she doesn't want none of that. She suffered enough of that in Hardcore War, lest you forget. Now Alisha Edwards trying to hook Jada Stone, possibly for a destroyer up in the corner on the second rope. Big right hand, though. Talk about high risk here inside this closed and confined, devastating arena of violence. Now Jada Stone, Alisha Edwards up high on the top rope in the corner here. This is not going to end well. Jada Stone, look at Alisha, superplex into the attacks. Oh my God, the Jada Stone got the worst of that. Jeez. It goes to show the risks that are willing to be taken inside lethal lockdown. Now Eddie Edwards checking on his wife. Oh, a low blow by Fabian and Aichner and Eddie Edwards. Turnabout's fair play. Oh, man, Bryan Edwards with a trash can. Giving a permanent dent with the skull of Edwards with that trash can. There's been enough trash in Boston and Chicago, though, to be real honest with you folks. Now Edwards breaks up in the corner with the trash can and Fabian and Aichner here. What the hell is Aichner thinking? Especially with his height. Oh, boy. And the side, coast to coast. Fully connects by Aichner, crushing Edwards in the corner with that trash can. Oh, watch out, though. Oh, barbed wire baseball bat to the midsection by Bear Bronson. Bear Bronson right now literally lashing away the flesh of Fabian Aichner with that barbed wire baseball bat. Oh, now Case Navarro eats that same weapon. There's still thumbtacks everywhere. There's a barbed wire board. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh! 2-for-1 special with the sit-out pile driver, crushing Aichner with Case Navarro's skull as well. And that piece of loose lumber riddled in barbed wire being set up now in the corner. And about to say, that wasn't brought in by the roof, by the way. That was brought in by Bear Bronson. Now Bear Bronson hoisting up Case Navarro. Oh, no. Whoa, it escaped. Super kick. Sosa. Oh, man! Bronson in the barbed wire board! With a driving uppercut by Ricky Sosa. Bronson absolutely pincushion and pinned into the barbed wire. About to say Chicago, they are freaking masochists for this type of shit. Now Brian Meyers, roster cut to a seat of Case Navarro. Well, you won't see Bear Bronson get involved in this match anymore, I guarantee you that. Now Sosa back to his feet. Oh, big forearm shiver. Now hooking him up. Oh, wait a minute. Boom, thunder bang! Into the attacks on Brian Meyers. Well, someone has to take advantage of this eventually. Oh, well, what's Ricky Sosa looking up to the ceiling for? Now, Ricky Sosa looking to punch his ticket forward in TNA wrestling to the highest degree. What the hell is he reaching for? Is that? It appears to be a spool of barbed wire. That cannot feel good with a bare human hand. I'll give Ricky Sosa credit. He's got a lot of guts. Oh, my gosh. And now Ricky Sosa bracing and scarring and cutting up his right arm with a barbed wire spool. Looking for a lethal shot. Bang, bang. Oh! A Blackfire headshot with barbed wire. Sosa with the cover. Alisha breaks it up. Alisha Edwards coming to the aid of the system with that final cut. Busted knee party, blind shot, back of the head. And Ricky Sosa might be out here at that final cut with barbed wire, though. Good grief. There is no safe haven anywhere in that canvas. And right now, Alisha Edwards trying to sees a chair out from behind Bear Bronson, who is still pinned in that barbed wire board, by the way. And Ricky Sosa's skull probably split open at this point. Eddie Edwards right now on a proverbial bed of woe. What the fuck? Oh, no, not this. Package pile driver on 2 seated steel chairs cover to the nerve system wins. Lethal lockdown. In lethal capacity. The gatekeepers close the gates on the future of TNA wrestling outside the confines of championship opportunities and inside lethal lockdown. The system wins. And the gatekeepers hold on to their position. Bear Bronson still being ripped out of that barbed wire, by the way. Good grief. Hell of a freaking guerrilla warfare effort, though, by Sosa and company. But unfortunately, the veterans of this domain seize the day. Again, Jada Stone with the first high risk here, diving down with the moonsault knees, suffering that superplex into the thumbtacks. And then freaking Fabian and Aichner went coast to coast against a trash can against Eddie Edwards' head. Freaking barbed wire baseball bat swinging for the fences like a Chicago baseball player was Bear Bronson, crushing and tearing apart the flesh like a carnivore of Fabian Aichner. And then that final cut, driving forward uppercut into Bear Bronson in the barbed wire board, and a follow-up barbed wire infused final cut should have been the end game, but instead Eddie Edwards with a package power driver on seated steel chairs puts down Ricky Sosa to win it for the system. Sometimes you actually can't beat the system. And unfortunately, that was the outcome tonight at Lethal Lockdown. Looking like anything but winners is Bear Bronson, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Meyers. But a statement made nonetheless. Good Lord. Well, that was fucking insane. Well, as we got a moment to breathe before our semi-main event, first let me remind you of the outcomes of everything we have seen here tonight. The Elegance brand thankfully lost, and the return of the Flame, Kiera Hogan, allowed the Bunny, Ali, to retain the TNA Navarro Tag Team Championships, and Kiera Hogan has resigned to TNA Wrestling. Welcome back. We saw AJ Francis unfortunately beat Elijah, but we were still able to get a final encore guitar shot as AJ Francis was dropped down in the middle of the ring. Frankie Kazarian did escape the cage, but Moose was the one that speared him out of it to allow Kazarian to win. Mustafa Ali put everything that was possibly possible to have as a human being to the wayside, embarrassing and destroying Jason Hotch at the expense of his family, it seems. At the end of the day, we know who the better man was, but Mustafa Ali is once again the brand new TNA International Champion. Leon Slater's legacy continues to be preserved and ongoing as he crushed Cedric Alexander with 3 lumbar checks in the Swanton 450 to make sure that he was not the last man standing, and we have a brand new X Division champion. Avery Styles has now signed himself to TNA Wrestling, as of course is our last stop before Bound for Glory, as ODB, Conan, and Amazing Red will be officially inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame Class 2026. Zaya Brookside once again proved that the Dark Angel of the Ring continues to rise to light as Elayna Black lost her chance on the TNA Knockouts World Championship. And of course, we just saw them leave a lockdown. The system works, and they did win against Team TNA. And of course, as we forge to Bound for Glory, we know that M by Elegance will challenge Jada Stone to crown the first ever TNA Knockouts Television Champion this live Thursday on Impact Wrestling. And of course, that all moves forward on the road to Bound for Glory, as of course, the next time we cover TNA Wrestling for you will be Bound for Glory. Yes. Also, Jason Hodge and Trey Miguel will challenge Mustafa Ali and Special Agent Zero in a tag team match this coming Thursday on TNA Wrestling. So if you can watch it, I highly encourage you to on TNA Plus, or if you can endure AMC. It was been a one-of-a-kind, wild-ass, incredible, fun night, actually. A great show. Hope you all have enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Follow us at SR Studios 2024. Continue to be part of the conversation. Continue to encourage this passion and reactions, as it now all comes down to this. Will history be made or will they be deleted? As it's time for our main event for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. The Hardyz, Nemeth, and Jeff Hardy defend the gold against the TNA World Champion, Nemeth, and his brother, Bryan Nemeth. In nearly 20 years, there has not been a man to hold both the TNA World Championship and the TNA Tag Team Championships. Not since Kurt Angle, as Nemeth, who sent Mike Santana back into NXT, now a two-time TNA World Champion, could very well become a two-time TNA Tag Team Champion tonight at the expense of the Hardyz. Who is the better brother tag team? It's as old as a story of TNA wrestling, going all the way back to Rebellion last year when the Nemeth first beat the Hardyz. But can they do it again inside Lockdown? We're about to find out as we get ready for our main event. And Safet saying that last match was insane. It's been an insane night. I absolutely agree. Again, I also love violence. And again, it's been a very fun night here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the taglines for our main event here. Man, Jeff Hardy won the titles at Slammiversary in a ridiculous four-way ladder match. The Nemeth's victory, though, happened last year at Rebellion 2025. That was the last time these two teams faced each other in traditional tag team action. The Hardys have now been in 9 combined lockdown matches of some variety in their illustrious careers. So does experience favor the Hardys forever? Or once again, does Nemeth show us just how damn good he is with his little brother riding his coattails with his fake-ass spray tan? It's a battle of the brothers here tonight in TNA Wrestling Lockdown, where history is on the line and your bound for glory ambitions are to be defined. It's time for our main events tonight in Chicago. And of course, Jeff Hardy recently challenged Nemeth for the TNA World Championship in a losing effort that also led to this match tonight. Here we go. And again, figure to all 170 plus you that are tuning in, use the hashtag TNA Lockdown and follow us today at SR Studios 2024. As of course, we do this for all the biggest shows, pay-per-views, and specials across all things professional wrestling. The next time I'll be on the screen with you will be next weekend when we go all in for AEW. Stay tuned for the predicting and potentially breakdown as well to follow. And if you love what I do, follow me today if you choose at the Superman's brand. Stay tuned for me and our Canadian friend Ash for our next simple session that will be this Thursday live exclusively on our YouTube channels. Of course, Nemeth was able to win back the TNA World Championship with the help of his little brother back at Slammiversary against Mike Santana, and has already embarrassed the likes of KC Navarro. As he said, blood is truly thicker than water, and has truly gone all in only alongside his little brother. As we are literally less than a month away almost from TNA's biggest pay-per-view of the year. I can only imagine how insufferable Bryan Nemeth will be holding a title, let alone Nemeth holding 2 titles. Ooh, that's a Titantron. Ah, Moonlight Sonata. Wait, Broken Hardyz? Well, they are the GOATs of TNA Tag Team Wrestling. That's for damn sure, with how long they've held these titles. Give credit where credit's due. I just hope that this symphony has a happy ending. As a matter of fact, Matt and Jeff have a stronger brotherly bond than the Nemeths as they bring the best version of the Hardys forward. Oh, gosh, the Antichrist Jeff Hardy theme. That's just cringe. But then again, they might have to unleash that tonight. How the dark and the light come together. How the yin and the yang work so well cohesively. How well we are fully loaded then, now, and forever with the Hardyz. I did not need to hear the Antichrist theme of Jeff Hardy, though. That was disturbing. Either way, I do hope the Hardys tonight delete the Nemeths once and for all from tag team wrestling. And of course, as I said, Matt and Jeff Hardy regained these tag team championships, of course, at Slammiversary, and pretty much held on to them ever since after sending the Righteous into their own righteous deletion. if you're going to put two names synonymous with TNA wrestling, it's a hard argue against Matt and Jeff Hardy under not only just tag team wrestling, but the TNA World Championship, as of course both men are former TNA World Champions. It was actually back here in Chicago a few years ago when freaking Jeff Hardy returned home to his brother after a broken rules match that Matt Hardy lost against Moose. Of course, the Hardys been teaming as long as they've been proverbially going to the extreme together in the backyards of a damn trampoline in North Carolina before the Hardy compound was even realized. And every time you see the Hardys take their way to the TNA ring, they always take it to the extreme. Already bringing the plunder inside with a table. Someone tells me we're going to go TLC style tonight in this main event at Lockdown. And already we got the fight going on in the middle of the ring as the Nemeth already grabbed the table, driving it towards the corner. And the fight is on as the Hardys have not even pulled off the TNA titles from around their waist yet. Of course, the bad blood that goes to these four men goes all the way back to Sacrifice 2 years ago after Nick Nemeth betrayed Matt Hardy after they rejected the little brother, and rightfully so, who's been nothing more but an annoying gnat. And of course, Matt and Jeff Hardy synonymous with steel cage matches. Of course, Matt Hardy, I think, has the most combined cage match history amongst all four men here, actually. So, again, I do think the tail of the tape still favors the Hardys more than the Nemeths, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, about to say right now, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy in control of Nick Nemeth and Ryan Nemeth, sending them face first inside the steel cage. So many legends have tried to make their names, though, against the Hardys, who have truly become the GOATs of TNA tag team wrestling. And no strangers to taking risks. Of course, the last time we saw Jeff Hardy involved in Lockdown goes all the way back. Oh, man. Against Jeff Jarrett, a final resolution inside steel cage. Or Lockdown 2012 against Kurt Angle. Cover and a kick out. Again, the only way to win inside this via pinfall submission. Escape means nothing. The Hardys, of course, have been the tag team champions now for an illustrious 5 times. Now in this run for the last 57 days. Poetry in motion with a splash by Jeff Hardy off the back of Matt Hardy. Choose the half, the cover over the far leg. It's a 2 count there. And the Hardys are also still the current House of Glory Tag Team Champions, by the way. Former current 2-time House of Glory Tag Team Champions. Hardys making himself at home inside the lockdown structure. That's the first time I've said that tonight, and how poetic. Waxing proxy. And now Nick Nemeth and Ryan Nemeth looking for a reprieve, it looks like, trying to climb the cage. Still drags out whether or not I think this should be the main event, but we'll see what happens. See if a history is made here tonight, if the Hardys once again rise to the occasion and the creatures mount up. Matt Hardy right now in pursuit of Nick Nemeth. Ryan Nemeth right now being pursued by Jeff Hardy on opposite sides of the cage. High above the ring, up the top rope. Right in the eyes, though. And Matt and Jeff Hardy driven face first now for the first time into the steel cage, falling down. And somehow Nick Nemeth did not lose his footing. And looking to fall for finisher by Nick Nemeth on Matt. Now the cover to get the titles, and Jeff with the save. Able to break it up. I feel like some point, though, Jeff Hardy is going to jump off the top of this damn thing with a swanton bomb. And I think that's why there's a table in the ring. I think that's going to be the end game. Apparently, my friend agrees with me. Again, I'm not Nostradamus. That was the philosopher I was thinking of, but I very well could be right. And Hardy champion out loud and proud. Face first goes Jeff Hardy, though, by Ryan Nemeth. And into the danger zone goes Jeff Hardy by Nick. Covered by Ryan Nemeth. Into enough gear. Kick out at 2 by Jeff Hardy. And with a kick out, we almost had new tag champions right there. And Ryan Nemeth nearly pinning Jeff Hardy, though. That is a horror story for a wrestling career. Of course, it was a low blow, I believe, that allowed Ryan Nemeth to pin Jeff Hardy when they won the TNA Tag Team Championships last year at Rebellion. And now Matt Hardy trying to prevent his jawline from being braced across the steel here. And again, we saw the brutal assault that Matt Hardy endured last year at the hands of Nick Nemeth at the end of Sacrifice inside that 10-man steel cage match. And chance right now of you both suck for the Nemeths by the Chicago Faithful, and I agree. Gargoyle Spear Shoulder tackle by Ryan Nemeth into the corner against Matt. And right now, Ryan Nemeth and Nick Nemeth showing off here. Again, that's still cage match that might nobody wanted to see Ryan Nemeth involved in that match. And clearly Nick Nemeth had a nerve bothered by that. A big splash, though, inadvertently by Nick Nemeth against his little brother. Oh, the bat drop. And Matt Hardy trying to fight back here as Jeff Hardy right now lays prone. I don't think Jeff Hardy's been 100% for the last several months, by the way, if I'm being perfectly honest here. And Matt Hardy sentencing Ryan Nemeth to deletion. Get to the midsection. Possibly looking for a twist of feet. Pushed off, though. And both men climb out of the ring and both men down. Center of the ring. Now Jeff Hardy getting up to his feet and that table falling out of the corner. Now Jeff Hardy with the TNA World Champion. Twist of fate into a stunner. There goes Nick. Oh, falls over that super kick off the ropes and all four men down. Everybody down for the time being here as we are at a critical, pivotal moment in the early goings of our lockdown main event for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. And TNA champs went out loud and proud. See, this is what happens when you leave TNA in-house with their roster and don't use NXT to take over. I'm just saying. And they definitely don't take over like the black and gold. Chance being ran out here for the Hardys right now. Good to see TNA's roster finally becoming TNA again. And now Nick Nemeth being pounded down by Matt Hardy. Jeff Hardy finding off the lesser Nemeth, Ryan Nemeth. And right now, all four of these men just jockeying for position in and out of, well, basically inside lockdown. And now Matt Hardy just driving Ryan Nemeth to deletion across the three turnbuckles. Trimming his head better than a Chicago Bull. Jeff Hardy right now teeing up against Nick Nemeth in the opposite corner. And of course, this has to be extremely personal. It's got to be personal since last year. I don't think the Hardys have literally forgotten that embarrassing loss against these two at Rebellion in 2025 in California. Step up poetry in motion, and Jeff Hardy getting the better TNA World Champion. And now with a side effect to Nick Nemeth. 2-on-1 right now. And the Hardy with the splash. Jeff Hardy, the cover. Ryan saves the titles. Damn it. Just in the nick of time, saving his big brother. Yeah, I gotta give Ryan Nemeth credit, though. Again, tag team wrestling, you gotta know where your partner is at all times. Gotta be there for them when you need them the most. Jeff Hardy, and there's the plot twist. And Matt Hardy with the cover, Ryan Nemeth, and Nick Nemeth saves the match of this time. Able to break it up after the twist of fate into the stunner, the plot twist. Almost the plot thickens right now when you figure about who truly is the better of these two teams of brothers in TNA wrestling. Now trying to use the steel cage to rearrange Nick Nemeth's neck. Ripping and tearing away, of course, the shoulder blades in the back of the head against the steel cage. And now the Hardy's going after that single table, keyword single table, inside lockdown here. Yeah, crowd chant, we want tables. I guess they didn't get enough wood here tonight. Matthew Raywall with a little bit of logic. I mean, he's right. They do have it. It's already right here. Sometimes hearing Matthew Raywall is the best freaking analyst. Sometimes he's just hilarious. I mean, again, point out the obvious. And right now, Nick Nemeth laid out across that table as Jeff Hardy keeps teeing off against the TNA World Champion. A low blow by Ryan Nemeth to Matt Hardy, though, goes for the cover. And Jeff, great awareness, able to break it up with the stomp. It goes back to the tornado rules here, considering, again, kind of hard to have an actual tag match inside lockdown, considering there's barely any apron to stand on. And, of course, inside the fact there's a tornado tag, you want to make sure that you literally keep the entire other team at bay, not just one. Jeff looking again for a twist of fate, pushed off, and a super kick by Nick Nemeth. Ryan Nemeth, though. Oh! Leaping DDT on Jeff Hardy. Now the cover off the narrow leg, and Matt right there for the save. The fact of the matter, though, also, there is such a close proximity inside this freaking steel cage. It's hard to call a pinfall when your other partner is so close to break it up. And Nick Nemeth a little bit apoplectic, rigging the eyes of Matt Hardy. Again, trying to remind the world and himself just how damn good that he is since starting over as Nick Nemeth Now looking to tune up the band. Shout out to his idol and the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. So he became blocked by Matt Hardy and looking to hook him up. Side effect! And Ryan Nemeth now looking to seize the opportunity to assault Matt Hardy after his big brother got dropped. Irish whip reversal. And Ryan Nemeth passed up the ropes. Got him with a kick though. Oh, and driven down a clothesline by Matt Hardy. Just when you think one team has the advantage, the other one comes in with a sudden assault. Get to the midsection. Looking for the twist of fate on the lesser Nemeth. Ryan Nemeth right now literally being the stunt double for Nick Nemeth at this point. How fitting. And now Matt Hardy laying out Ryan Nemeth on that table as Jeff Hardy. Oh no. It might be time to go to that extreme or go for broke. Inside lockdown tonight in Chicago as Jeff Hardy looks to go up and above tonight from the top rope. Inside lockdown. And oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. His third eye saw. Oh, no. Oh, no. And right now, Nick Nemeth, same as his brother. And I don't think Jeff Hardy is aware of it. But Nick Nemeth in hot pursuit as Jeff Hardy stands on top the steel cage. Now Jeff Hardy being brought back down inside by Nick Nemeth, preventing him from going to that extreme, probably for Jeff Hardy's best judgment. Same with his brother also in the matter. Both men right now walking on a tightrope of certain destruction on the edge of glory, finding each other across the top of this cage, across the top rope. Face first goes Nick Nemeth. Oh, and both men lose their balance. Nasty Elayna across the top cable in between the uprights for both Jeff Hardy and Nick Nemeth. Get to the midsection of Ryan Nemeth by Matt Hardy. Looking to delete. Oh, wait a minute. Pushed up. Deep roll up. Got the pants. Almost stole the titles there. Get to the midsection. And Matt hooking up him. Twist of fate on Ryan Nemeth by Matt. Man, how much is it going to take to send one of these two Nemeths for the damn table and end this thing? And now Matt Hardy looking to go up to the top rope in the high-risk district as Ryan Nemeth lays prone on the table. And Nick Nemeth's not moving. Who would have thought you'd see Matt Hardy ascend up this cage? And up high above the top rope as Ryan Nemeth lays prone. Elbow drop for the heart for the table. Ryan Nemeth crushed. And Matt Hardy trying to get the lesser Nemeth out the debris to go for the cover and get the victory. He's got to get him in the position, though. But watch Nick Nemeth sending Matt Hardy into the danger zone. And Nick Nemeth with the cover. Nemeth are the new TNA Tag Team Champions. What? What? You gotta be fucking kidding me! And Jeff Hardy was blocked by Ryan Nemeth, who was screaming for the cover. Nick Nemeth has done what Kurt Angle has done 20 years later. History made. The Nemeths are the new, now two-time tag team champions. And Nick Nemeth is now both TNA World and TNA Tag Team Champion for the second time. Take a look back at the conclusion of this match, if you can with me. The elbow drop by Matt Hardy to Ryan Nemeth through that table, pull him out of the debris, and Nick Nemeth pulled Matt Hardy finally into the danger zone. Nick Nemeth with the cover, hooked the front leg. Jeff Hardy went to scramble to break it up, and Ryan Nemeth cut him off. And now we have the insufferable nature of Ryan Nemeth is a tag team champion alongside his big brother. History made in Chicago that will live in infamy for anyone that is a fan of the Hardys. As the Nemeths will now forge to bound for glory in the utmost glory. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Leon Slater. Yeah, what Leon Slater doing here? I told him what I was going to do, and I went and did it. What? we did tonight. Hold on. Leon Slater with extras and child around his neck. Way. You can't. My legacy at the X Division is forever cemented. And I can only think of one further way to go down in TNA record books. Wait. So Bound for Glory. Wait a second. I'm exercising option C. I have a habit of saying things and doing it. And I will become the youngest world champion in this company has ever seen. Yet me. Wow! Leon Slater has exercised option C for Bound for Glory. As he hands off the X Division title to Carlos Silva, Leon Slater will challenge Nick Nemeth for the TNA World title. Whoa! Let's look at a cheap shot. Oh, attempt to Ryan Nemeth, super kick to Nick Nemeth. And Leon Slater just dropped the champion. I cannot believe my eyes. Leon Slater is bound for glory and is now looking to culminate a journey as the youngest ever TNA World Champion. Open the keys and set up for Bound for Glory because the youngest in charge might be the youngest king to be seen. As Lockdown officially comes to a conclusion this evening, I want to thank you all once again for tuning in here to our watch-along event here at the Super Reliable Studios. For everyone on behalf of the entire Super Reliable Studios family, for my friend Paul who was here for the entire night, for all of you that were here for the entire time. Hope you thoroughly enjoyed the commentary, analysis, storytelling, reactions, and damn good professional wrestling. We hope to see you for our all-in coverage, super predicting and potentially breakdown and further interviews, shenanigans, and further fun to come as we do here at the Super Reliable Studios. Until next time, I'm the Simon Noah Foster, reminding you to make a positive impact in life. Have a good night, and thanks for tuning in to our watch-along coverage of TNA Lockdown as Leon Slater is bound for glory. Have a good night, folks, and we'll see you next time here at the Simply Reliable Studios. Take care.